What's good, ladies and gentlemen, fellow gamers? Hope you're all doing well this evening around the world, wherever you're listening to, wherever you are from, and I hope you're all doing well and having a great weekend so far. Welcome to the Worldwide Company of Gamers podcast. Let's get this gameplay going. Tonight's gonna be an epic show, my dudes. We're a little low on panel members right now, as OT is AFK and DZ is on his way. Leviathan sends his love, but currently for the remainder of 2021, he's unable to make it. But he sends his love to everybody who's listening in and tuning in. But the panel will grow as the night progresses and the night goes forward. But I hope everybody is doing well this evening. Spam them emojis and share this out. Let everybody know we are live. Here's the link. Drop the link for you in the chat. Shout out to people in the chat. We've got Uso Vinny, Hawaiian guy. What's good, my brother? Awesome that you're here. Jonathan Martinez, what's good? Hey, Vinny, just to let you know, bro, we're looking for some salty Xbox fanboys to join the panel this evening to share their pro Xbox, to present their pro Xbox case for the Game Awards. So if you want to jump on, be my guest, my dude. As we know, you're more an Xbox gamer primarily, but you love all consoles, so be awesome to have you on. Just feel free to jump on the Discord. You're more than welcome. Shout out to VNexer. Shout out to Jonathan Martinez, Tony Twist, Toolman. Toolman recently got his PS5. Huge win for him. And he's just got Demon Souls. Dude, you are in for a treat. Have an absolute blast. Let me know how the audio is, if the audio is good. Shout out to Social Destruct, my bro. Hope you're doing well, mate. Compost Smurf. It's just awesome people in the chat right now. With more to no doubt come. So yeah, let's get this show on the road and get this panel introduced. We've got some exciting guests. Hopefully, my friend can't guarantee it, but hopefully Zubitech will be joining us shortly. In fact, I'm just gonna drop him a link in a minute, just in case he can't find it. Hopefully we've got Zubitech on, but if not, we've still got an awesome panel of guests. Really cannot stress enough how awesome these two guys are. We've got the Family Man Gamer. He's a long time fan of the show. He's watched it for a long time. We've followed each other way before this show began. Look, I follow him on Twitter, and he's an awesome, all-round, level-headed gamer. What's good, my dude?
Awesome, man. Thank you very much. Honestly, chuffed to bits to be invited on. You know yourself, I really do love this podcast and panel, so it's a great honor to be invited on, so thank you.
Oh, mate, I'm honored that you're here. Honored that you're here, my dude. So thank you. What have you been playing?
Mostly Horizon 5. I'm a big racing fan, so I've been getting stuck into that. To be honest, most of the single player stuff I've blasted through. It's near done. I've got a couple of races to do, and that's it. So mixed between playing the seasonal events, and I've just started Halo. So yeah, those are the two I'm running through at the minute.
That's awesome, my bro. I've been playing a little bit of Halo as well. I'm detecting a Wolves accent. Are you from Wolverhampton?
Not far off, mate. Shard End, Birmingham.
Oh, Shard End. My family are from Ward End.
Oh, right. That's that would have been just up the road from where I was. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I mistook your Birmingham accent for a Wolves. They're quite similar, but slightly different. But no,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's awesome. It's awesome that you're here, my dude, and nice to have a fellow Brit on the show with me. Uh,
I appreciate
it's
it, man.
cool. Speaking of awesome, Nebrico. For those who don't know you, Nebrico is someone I've been following for a little while now. We arranged to have him on. I don't know if it was last year. It was a while ago. Not last year, like earlier this year, but just things got in the way. But I remember following Nebrico for his awesome takes on all things Japan. He's a bit of an Akira, Nebrico. He knows his stuff. So Nebrico, welcome, my dude. It's an absolute honor to have you here. Tell us about yourself. Where are you from? What are you gaming at the moment? And tell us who you are.
Yeah. As always, thank you, Willie. I appreciate it. I think we started actually following each other right after a Kids Move space, and we kind of had a discussion about what's going to happen if Xbox is just they completely ditch the console and stuff. So we kind of hit it off there, and from there we really haven't a lot of agreements and things. But yeah, I'm Nubrico or Nubrico. It's different. Whoever wants to call me, whatever they want to call me, it's fine. But I'm from the United States, Virginia, and yeah, I'm just I'm very honest most times on Twitter. So if it seems like I'm a bit abrupt most of the days, probably because I'm very passionate about what I do. So, but that's really me. Don't really have much else going on. And I believe actually, Wooly, the same time me and you met, I think I actually met Akira around that time as well. So we all hit it off pretty well and became
awesome.
Pretty good friends. So
awesome stuff. What's your primary gaming platform, and what have you been playing?
Yeah, so I mainly play PS5, but I do play PC and support Xbox games that I'm interested in on PC. But most of the time it's going to be PS5. But as of right now, I jumped on the Halo Infinite campaign. I played that for a little bit, but I saw that the Aloy event was going on for Fall Guys, and I actually love Fall Guys quite a lot. So I jumped back over there, try to get the Aloy stuff, and I want to get the Gen outfits from Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm kind of playing that right now, and then jumping from that to over to like Mad Max. I actually recently got that for like $5. So that's just I'm pretty tame right now because I'm working a lot. But those are the two I'm probably jumping from for a little while, probably till Horizon comes about.
Awesome. Yeah, dude. I'm like you. I'm primarily a PS5 fan, a gamer, but I have a PC and I do buy Xbox games. Trouble is, Xbox have naffed me over a couple of times recently. I bought Forza Horizon 5 Premium Edition full price. I spent $72.99 on the Premium Edition. I bought it through CD Key, so it gave me like £9 off. I just thought I might as well.
Very nice.
And I haven't been able to play it. It won't launch for me. It's too broken on PC. So I'm kind of losing my patience a little bit. But it is what it is. I don't know if OT is here yet. I've just heard him. His mic was on. But
yes.
OT,
Hey, sorry guys.
What's good, my dude? So glad that you're here.
You guys can hear me?
Loud and clear, my brother.
Loud and clear. Yep.
Good. Yeah. So this week for me has just been Battlefield. For me, it's just been Battlefield, MATRIX demo, and baby stuff.
Baby stuff. I love it.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Like even today, I'm just going to be in and out because of the baby.
Of course.
But I decided today I had to be here. So sorry for being
OT,
a bit late.
No, let me tell you, bro. The effort that you put into just being here right now with all of your responsibilities, even if you have to kind of duck and dive and dip out now and again and mute your mic and go do your thing. Just you being here, bro, just seeing your name on the panel and hearing you speak now and again whenever you can chip in, it's honestly, bro, it means everything. It means everything to this show, and it means everything to me.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, because with the baby, things have been a bit crazy. But it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, so Battlefield, Matrix, and there's so many topics I want to discuss today. So yeah, let's start. Let's
do this. I'm so hyped. And let's introduce who doesn't know Akira. I mean, come on, he's a celebrity on Twitter in his spaces, and he's a long time panel member of this show. Absolute, as always, bro, a blessing that you're here. How are you, my dude?
Yeah, no, I'm doing great. I've been happy about the Game Awards and all the trailers that was given, and I've been watching a lot of them nonstop. Also playing Tales of Arise. I got 90 hours on Tales of Arise now.
I think it's safe to say Akira sounds absolutely
pooped. My life for that.
You sound knackered, mate. You sound so tired.
I've been, my excitement has been really getting the better of me recently. I've been getting less sleep because I was just too pumped to see all of it and watch all these new trailers and watch them all in slow motion and what do you call this? Rewind and forward and basically analyze what's happening and admire the amazing animation. Again, so many stuff and it's just so cool. Again, I'm completely obsessed with Forspoken and Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League right now, and I've been rewatching those trailers so many times. And, Sifu, of course, I'm always watching Sifu every day. I also did Slitterhead from the father of Silent Hill, Kiichiro Toyama. He has his new game and his new independent studio, and I've been researching about it as well. And did a lot of research.
I just can't wait. Yeah. Honestly, you're like such a vital. You're such a vital, fundamental part of the show because there's just so much stuff that you're like an encyclopedia of knowledge, and it's awesome to dissect your brain every episode. No wonder you sound exhausted. We pretty much dissect your brain every time you're every week. But sorry to everybody who were expecting a show last week. I'm very sorry. Unfortunately, I've been struggling with exhaustion levels, and I just slept all Saturday. So last week, I was asleep from 1 o'clock in the afternoon till 1:30 in the morning. So I do apologize. There was no show last week. But yeah, try to keep it consistent, more than not. But yeah, it's awesome that you're here, Akira, and looking forward to picking your brains yet again tonight.
Absolutely, man.
I'll just get my foghorn ready in case we hear you snoring and hear you falling asleep.
Nah.
We've got.
It's all good.
We've just had arrive my good friend Zuby Tech, a huge name on Twitter. He's garnered a lot of respect for his concise, consolidated, and very, very, very ahead of the game. Always kind of dropping the latest news before most people. Most journalists or most hashtag like insiders usually use his tweets for their information. So it's great that he's here. Zuby Tech, what's good, my bro?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good. Thanks, really. Thanks for the invite and introduction again.
No worries, mate. I'm just stoked. I'm just stoked as fuck that you're here. Honestly, I'm just buzzing that you're here, my dude. Yeah, we've been following each other for like at least 2 years now, and bro, you always deliver the goods. You always drop the goods. You have so much knowledge on particularly like the infrastructure of these companies, and it's just so good to hear whatever you contribute is is usually information that I certainly, for one, don't know prior to learning from you. So it'll be good for all of us, for the panel, for everybody listening in. Thank you for being here. What have you been playing recently, Zuby?
Thanks for that, Willie. Appreciate it. I've been playing Mafia 2. Really
nice.
enjoying it. Yeah, the
PS
story
now?
is so good. No, I bought the trilogy, so
nice.
I've been just been playing that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I've been playing it as well. I downloaded it via PS Now, and I've been playing Mafia 1, the remake, the remaster. That's what Mafia
Willie,
2 is great.
Story is so good in number one. I can't believe it how good it is, and the ending is just it's brilliant. It's like a movie.
I just love the New York accent, man. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know. Yeah, for real. I'm glad you're enjoying it, my bro. I agree. Mafia games are so underrated, and they've not quite got that sandbox feel that GTA has, but I think in a way they're all the better for it. It keeps things on rails kind of, keeps a structure to the story and keeps you moving forward. But yeah, guys, wow, what a panel. We've got DZ on his way. He's running a bit late, but he will be here. So safe to say we've got one pretty incredible panel tonight. I'm stoked. So let's get this show on the road. I'm sure you will all agree. Shout out to a few more people in the chat. Twisted Sin, Neil S, Shaky Shako. Always good to see you guys. So as for topics, guys, it's a big one. We have a new acquisition from Sony, with future acquisitions on the way. Pretty sure of that, based on information provided by none other than Akira himself, as you will hear tonight. But we're gonna find out all about this Valkyrie and just what they are, kind of what makes them such a special purchase. Sony are really kind of, I've noticed, building up their support studios, bringing in support studios that have so much talent from years of experience working on different games, different engines. It creates a robustness that you don't get. It's hard to get anywhere else, and I think it's genius. I think it's so genius what they're doing. But yeah, we're going to find out all about Valkyrie. The Game Awards, obviously, the elephant in the room. I don't know about you guys, but this year's Game Awards has been the best game-related presentation I've seen in years and years and years. It's been a long time, fam. I've not seen a show this incredible in so long. Hats off to Jeff Keighley, man. He knocked it out of the park with this one. Unbelievable. And we're gonna dive into the Matrix as well. So it's gonna be a cool show. And whatever other subjects come along, we'll wing it a little bit. You know me. So let's do this. What do you guys want to talk about first?
Can we talk about maybe the Matrix demo is the peak. I don't know, but that Matrix demo. Okay, I think that demo should come later because it is genuinely something everybody should celebrate. But maybe we should start off with the Game Awards and what people thought. I don't know.
Sounds good to me. I feel like we should wait for DZ on that one. Go on, Akira.
No, it's actually great that Subi is here, because Subi is one of those guys who pays attention to job listings, right?
Yeah. I think that's a great shout. I think that's a great shout. While Subi is here, because his time is precious, he's a busy man. Let's talk this acquisition. That's a great shout, Akira. I agree. Valkyrie Studios has been purchased by Sony. So let's talk about this. Who are these guys?
All right, so Subi, I want to ask you one question before I answer Wooly's question. Been paying attention to the job listings from Valkyrie Entertainment themselves?
Yeah,
You saw that before the acquisitions that they were already they were hiring so much people, so many people
yeah.
already.
The job listing was like it said like I can't remember the exact word, but it said partner, console partner, and that's when I knew straight away. Is like there's a title in development with Sony because they made Guns Up. Is a really good game. I've told Wooly about it in the past. It's free to play as well. It's on PC and PS4. Um, and yeah, is for unannounced strategy game. So they're developing that
There
with
it is.
Sony. It could be
So
Guns Up or something else.
Subi is basically aware. So yeah, basically the Valkyrie Entertainment, right?
Yep.
So they're popular as a support studio. They support some. They got a variety, in their portfolio. I mean, the games that they co-developed, there's so much variety in it. Again, you got Valorant, you got League of Legends, you have God of War and God of War Ragnarok, Halo Infinite, Forza 7, more sport, Bloodlines 2, which is not even released yet. So I was wondering how they're gonna do that now, since Sony owns them. So how they're gonna do that with Bloodlines 2. And basically, they've always been like a really great support studio, and a lot of developers take them to a high note. However, before the acquisition, like I said, I've been noticing that they've been hiring like crazy. The reason for that really is that, yeah, for the first time, Valkyrie Entertainment is making a unannounced AAA game. And apparently, this is what led to this acquisition. Whatever their idea was must have been really good because it led to an acquisition. Because as a support studio, it was not really about just keeping them there because they can always access them. Like with God of War Ragnarok, they're still working with them despite of no acquisition. But yeah, like one of the main reasons why they were acquired is because they are working on a AAA game on their own, and it seems like Sony is is going to support them all across the board, and they're going to be supported like a first-party studio where they can get access to the PlayStation 2 studios and basically the every single support that Sony normally gives to their studios. And yeah, so Valkyrie Entertainment moving up way way more. They might put their name out there, like as a developer, not only as a support studio, but as the main studio. So yeah, that's what I think of Valkyrie Entertainment. And yeah, I have some short thoughts on this. I have this feeling that Sony. I said this before. It's something like this. That it's like two things. So either you got these support studios for for support, but then at the same time you want to nurture them to be able to make their own games, which is the case for Valkyrie Entertainment. Or you want a support studio so that you can nurture the existing studios that you have already within PlayStation Studios, so that you can help them, let's say, make more games or have more help with the games that they're making. So it's basically PlayStation Studios the support. But again, with Valkyrie Entertainment, since they're making their own now, despite of co-developing God of War Ragnarok, I'm guessing with the latter, and I have a feeling that they might also be looking into Iron Galaxy because they've been working with Iron Galaxy as well, just like they did with Valkyrie Entertainment before and certain affinity. So yeah, these support studios, they again two purposes: they nurture them, they become their own developer, or they be the support for their already existing developers that might need the extra hands, something like that.
Yeah, just take a look at these games that Valkyrie's worked on, guys. I feel I wanna ask your thoughts about this. I feel like Sony are playing a little bit dirty.
I guess I'll jump in and chime in on that.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited because I'm a big League of Legends fan as well. I think League of Legends is freaking awesome. There's a mobile game out called League of Legends Wild Rift, and then the Wild Rift's supposed to come to consoles, obviously. Now, after this acquisition, because the studio seems to be working pretty closely with Riot. I'm wondering now, and maybe you guys can say maybe it won't happen, it will. I'm wondering now if Wild Rift could possibly be a timed exclusive for PlayStation because of this acquisition, because they still work with them today. I don't know if you guys would think that's even possible or not, because Riot's such a broad company, and I'm sure acquisitions don't really seem to right on their end, but obviously I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, Riot is you know what, Riot is interesting, right? I researched about Riot because I got interested in them after watching Arcane, and I saw Project L, right? Because I said, I'm aware, despite of not playing League of Legends, I'm aware that League of Legends is the most popular game in the world. It's just the truth. And
Right.
and then I noticed that whoever owned Riot is that they know how to nurture IPs, because from League of Legends now they made Arcane, and now they're making this cool looking fighting game called Project L, and I believe they're also making an RPG based on the League of Legends IP, right? And then I found out that Riot Games is owned by Tencent.
Yep.
And again, after let's say finding that out, and I saw Project L, right? I had a feeling that on that day I said something like, "Yeah, I have a feeling Tencent might have this desire to put more investment in the console market as well." Which did happen because they announced that third-party publisher. Remember that, where they announced this publisher where they're focused more on the console and PC side of things. So yeah, Tencent officially joined. They officially joined the game. They officially joined the market, and Riot Games is only like the tip of the iceberg, is like the starting point. But yeah, Riot Games. Your question is interesting because Riot Games is again with Tencent, and I really don't see it impossible for Sony and Tencent to work together. They kind of want the same thing. Sony wants the Chinese market, Tencent wants the Western market. So they have some aligning goals there that might happen in the future. But right now, yeah, I cannot really tell. So yeah, that's true. It's a bit tricky right now.
Yeah, excuse me for my ignorance. So, I'm just curious. Does Genshin Impact, is that Tencent as well, or is that
No,
somebody else?
no. That's not Tencent. Genshin Impact. MiHoYo is kind of like.
MiHoYo, that's it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
MiHoYo is kind of like
Bilibili.
their own entity. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Bilibili. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but they're
Bilibili.
owned by Sony. Yeah, they're owned by Sony,
Yeah.
so that's where the connection is.
Who's owned by Sony? Say that again.
Yeah, again, this is MiHoYo is a bit special. Although MiHoYo partners with Tencent, with Genshin.
So that's
Impact.
probably where I got that from. Okay, gotcha.
They partner with Tencent, but no, they're not owned by Tencent. MiHoYo is kind of like MiHoYo is a success story, to be honest. They grew gigantic from that game, so yeah. I mean, but yeah, go ahead.
Read.
No. I mean, honestly, I don't really know too much about Valkyrie. I'm going to be honest with you. I do care a lot about minor studios or a little bit smaller studios. But it seems like Valkyrie is huge. Like, this is a very big acquisition, and I look at it in the form of we may see a lot more coming to Sony, or excuse me, coming to PlayStation that we would have probably never seen before if this acquisition didn't happen, because it seems like they give a lot of support to a lot of big titles. What's to say that and people that would see my stuff on Twitter, that like at least once a day I say something about a Resistance reboot or a SOCOM reboot. I would love for the studio to help Sony, or help a studio at Sony give a proper reboot to both those games, because I find both those titles to be legendary. SOCOM obviously is a legacy title at Sony. I think it deserves a reboot. So it would be great to see Valkyrie step in and possibly help our main studios build one of those games from the ground up.
Big facts. I just realized my mic was muted on Discord, so all this time I've been trying to I've been trying to chip in, and people are like, I sound like an idiot. I've been like, excuse me, can I kind of just talk? I'm such an idiot.
Yeah, I was actually gonna be like, Wooly, I think your mic's muted, but I didn't know if you like stepped away or something.
I had no idea. I'm such an idiot. Read this quote. I'm guessing everybody's had the time to read it 10 times over now. Valkyrie is still one of the best art studios I've worked with at Microsoft. This is Matt Collins, content art director at Microsoft. Not only were they very dedicated to our project, but they worked extremely hard and brought a great sense of artistic vision to the Forza Motorsport franchise. Valkyrie is also very technically astute, as we have a difficult pipeline that they excel with throughout development. I will gladly work with them again. I mean, there are accolades, and then there are accolades. There's a resume to present like a reference. If you present your CV to someone and you get a reference, I mean, that's quite a reference for Valkyrie's CV, wouldn't you agree? It says so much about their capability, their versatility, and just how understated they are. Look again at the games that they've put together, that they've helped make. Halo Infinite. I'm not sure if that's a oh shit, what's going on there with? There we go. I'm not sure whether that's kind of necessarily flattering, but I'll go into that later. I'm not very impressed, and I'm not speaking from a biased fanboy perspective. I've been playing that game. It's the environment for me just does not do it at all. Anyway, moving on. But God of War 2018, they're working on Ragnarok. Shadow of War was an incredible game. Ark, Extinction, Valorant, a VR title, Saints and Sinners, Forza 7, and of course League of Legends. And they have been working on Bloodlines too. They specialize in environmental 3D visuals. I believe.
See, that's what excites me the most about these is we already know their quality.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? We know what to expect. We know that they're going to be a good addition.
They supported God of War, you know. Yeah. Absolutely. And again, you know, this was the reason why I researched about them, because I was, let's just say, confused why they were acquired, because these are a support studio. You know, they can just get them to, you know, for help, like, you know, here and there, right? Then they acquired them completely, and you know, I didn't really, for me, it didn't make total sense that you just want to acquire them for an exclusive support studio. I don't think it's how this works. It's kind of like what I thought about it, and then and I saw the job listings, and I saw the unannounced AAA game that they want to make, and there it is. Yeah, missing link, right there. Valkyrie Entertainment might, you know, might be a in the future might become somebody like, you know, House Marquee. You know, or Ember Lab, for example. You know, I always want to say hands down to Ember Lab, House Marquee. Got their awards after Sony. Got their, you know, supported them. Even in their speech, they thank PlayStation and Sony. You notice that, right? And where greatness.
Yeah, facts.
Greatness prospers.
Don't you think it's a little dirty of Sony to do this? Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but
all's fair in love and war, man. All is fair.
The day after the Game Awards, they
shadow dropped it.
They shadow drop. Yeah. The guys that worked on Halo Infinite and Forza Motorsport and received all these accolades and praise from Microsoft. Yeah, we've bought them. One of the best support studios they've arguably ever had. Sony now own. I just think, why not the Game Awards? Why not announce at the game? Why do Sony do this constantly, where they drop these bombs after these big mainstream events have happened? Sony just stealth drop this news that isn't part of the mainstream announcements. They avoided the Game Awards mostly. I tell you, the Game Awards from an objective standpoint was a 10 out of 10 for me. hands down. It was flawless. There was nothing they could have done better, in my opinion. Jeff Keighley nailed it, left, right, and center. Nailed it so hard it would be very, very sore for the remainder of the year. I'm pretty sure, right? But so I'm disappointed, and from personal experience, personally would score it a 9 out of 10 in terms of satisfaction for me as a viewer, because Sony were nowhere to be seen. Yeah, they showcased a few release dates for Spoken in May. May. And Horizon Forbidden West looks incredible, and what they showed kind of told me that they've been holding back this whole damn time. But apart from that, no announcements, nothing. And so, why do you think this is, guys? I want to hear Zuby's thoughts. Like, are they? What's the reason behind this, Zuby? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think when the what was it, 2014 or 2013, the E3 with Shuhei Yoshida, and passed the game to Ada Boys, that clip as well. I think since then, like, Sony realized that they're very deliberate now. You can see what they're doing. Like, they want, like, Tupac's quote, all eyes on me. They want the whole media to watch them. I think that's why, like, even if you saw something at the Game Awards, it would be just a tease. Like, the thing that I was hoping for was like PSVR, just like show what it looks like quickly, and just that. But obviously they didn't. But yeah, like, Sony are very deliberate. They know how to execute their marketing. I think since the start of PS4, to use your word, Willie, it's flawless. Like, it's so pinpoint accuracy. Like, what they're doing, they're just dominating the gaming scene, in my opinion. Like, what they've done since PS4 generation is unbelievable. Like, everything they're doing is calculated. It's not missing. Yeah, they've made
100%.
some mistakes, but like, everything in terms of the gaming, what they're doing, like, you can see through these acquisitions, everything they're doing is deliberate, pinpoint accuracy. What they're doing.
What do you think the reason is behind Valkyrie's acquisition, Zuby? What's your thoughts behind Valkyrie?
Yes, for me, it's core development. So there's a lot of talent. They're God of War, in my opinion, best game ever made. So look what they've done there. It does. You don't need to see anything else, like their CV or anything, that what they've done. So it's.
I will.
Let me check. It is showing up for me. Yeah, it looks like we're back.
Live.
So good, it happens, man.
Yeah, no, we're back. Yeah,
We're back.
Yeah. Yeah, OT.
No, sorry. Yeah, so what I was saying was, somewhere along the line, what Shaky, Akira, basically what these guys are saying is, Sony realized you don't need to share the limelight. Media is so hungry for information that when you have an event, they're gonna share multiple information. But
sorry, guys. One second, OT. I'm so sorry, my dude. My mic was muted when I was talking to you guys. Everybody, so sorry for that. We're back now, I think, and let's continue where we were. Carry on, OT.
Oh yeah. So basically, what I was saying was, Sony realized you don't need to share the limelight. But at the same time, Microsoft, I'm not saying Microsoft's strategy is bad, because Microsoft is providing a very good source of information for such big events. Microsoft is there at E3, they're there at the Game Awards. You notice Sony's attendance is less, but if you look at Sony's online interaction, how many people are looking at Sony events, over the years it's been increasing. So it's showing Sony that sometimes it is better to attend your own show. No longer is it needed for you to do E3 to get many people to look at what you're doing. So once Sony reached that mega height, they went on their own path. I think that's what Sony is doing now.
No, yeah. Again,
Zuby,
you will
you
know.
were.
Sorry.
Sorry, Kirit. Zuby, you were in the middle of saying something when the internet died on me. I'm so sorry, brother. Could you continue what on the line you were saying before you were rudely cut off?
No,
by
it's
my
fine.
internet?
It's just similar what OT was saying. I was basically saying, so Sony just want the whole attention. Like they're very calculated in what they do, especially in their marketing since the PlayStation 4 generation. So yeah, it's just that.
This
Awesome.
also explains why they drop these breadcrumbs after or before events, because let's just say an event, right? After during an event, its peak is during the event. After the event, the engagement always decreases. Like it's always going down, like going down from there, right? So if you share information after or before an event, you will be the new information that people will be hungry for, and hence the spotlight will be on you again. And it's kind of like this. This is the thing I've been noticing from Sony a lot. Like either they want to stay away from sharing the spotlight with others. That's why they don't want to be in big events, so that they can just make their own state of plays and PlayStation 5 showcases, and then just lay it all out, and all attention is on them. Or if there is a big event, or if there's an event in general, either they're gonna give you breadcrumbs from their, content from their end before or after, because again, the peak of engagement for an event is within the event itself. After the event, it's kind of goes down from there, and people will be hungry again for news, information, new stuff, new content, and it's kind of like again, after Valkyrie Entertainment was Shadow Drop, right? But then after it was Shadow Drop, everybody was talking about it all of a sudden. You know what I mean? All eyes on Sony. it's kind of like that's what they want. They want that spotlight alone.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No,
I was going to say this makes me really excited about Sony for one reason. I think you actually hit a lot of key points. Based on I think how Sony's practices are. But one key thing that I'm starting to see a revolving notice by PlayStation is this acquisition to us is it feels like a big deal, right? And I'm sure to Sony it's also a big deal. But what if, and this is just a big what if, but what if this acquisition didn't seem so big on the scale for Sony, that they have so much more things coming for us on bigger scales, that they're just dropping these little things so they can not crowd so much information in a show. That's kind of like a pattern that I've been seeing. Maybe I'm seeing it wrong, but that's just kind of how it seems. Because when we have these big events coming out, like the big ones, I'm not talking about the little tiny state of plays, but like the big events, I mean, they really go all out, like A plus stuff. So, do y'all agree with that, or because that's kind of how I see it?
Yeah, considering like well, Valkyrie got acquired, and obviously Haven Studios, Deviation Games, like Firewalk, it's crazy. Like they've partnered with them as well. So if you look at it, like you've almost got 25, 26 teams working on PlayStation exclusives. That's insane. Like the content we're gonna get is unbelievable. Like if you look at it from that perspective.
They did tell us this was going to happen, though. I mean, they told us.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Like in the financials, the CEO of Sony actually said, I was watching the conference call, and he said we will aggressively invest. He didn't just say we would invest. So he said aggressively. This is what people don't realize. You got to listen to these CEOs and everyone what they say and exactly how they say it. So they're very calculated on what they say as well. So he said aggressively. So who knows who's next? So and that was like for 2 to 3 year plan. So that the Sony will still invest next year as well.
Yeah, big facts. Sorry, guys. My mic keeps accidentally muting itself. No, I agree. This means big things for. I think Sony is showing a pattern in how they operate and in how they're doing things at the moment, and but they're still part of the mainstream events. Oh, I can hear myself. Whose mic is that? Akira. I can hear myself on your mic, bro. It's okay. But yeah, they're like still part of the mainstream events. Like they showcased Horizon Forbidden West, and I mean, just look at that gameplay, guys. Horizon Forbidden West looked insane. But why not? Let's get on to the Game Awards. I mean, we've covered Valkyrie, we've covered what this means, and Sony's. Akira, you touched on Sony's future acquisitions, right? Who they're interested in?
Yeah. I wanted to highlight that especially Zuby, he's the most knowledgeable about this one. Basically, people will not notice this if you're not, you won't be paying attention to small details like job listings, but Sony's been working a lot, like in the shadows, like quietly, recently, like just hire after talent that they're getting within them. Especially Fire Sprite, for example. Fire Sprite is growing at an exponential rate, man. It's crazy how fast Fire Sprite is growing right now. And we're not only talking about Fire Sprite, we're talking about all across the board, like every studio from PlayStation side. There's just really, you're just working quietly in the shadows, just building an empire, if I can call it like that, right?
This made me think, Akira, bro. Sorry, bro, I can still hear myself. There we go. You've hit something, right? Sorry, Akira, I don't know what's going on with your mic, but I can hear my own voice.
Oh, sorry.
It's stopping me from being able to think what I'm saying. Sorry, bro. But listen, if your sole focus is to buy more, then what you've got isn't necessarily growing. You're just getting more in, but you're not working on investing on and nurturing what you've already got. What Sony are doing is they're reinforcing their studios over and over and over. Another support studio acquired. That's how many support studios in the last year have they bought? 3, something like that. I think to my memory. Nixus, Visual Arts, and now Valkyrie, right?
Valkyrie.
And so what? Plus, with all the hiring that these first-party studios are doing, that Sony are obviously allowing them to do because they're on Sony's payroll. That all it takes is one incredible game of a year, and this game is truly mind-blowing. It's a God of War 2018, it's a Red Dead Redemption 2, it's a The Last of Us, right? All it takes is one incredible game to really make put the brand on the map for that year and make everybody go, holy shit, this game is incredible, everybody needs to play this game. But I can't imagine, like, is Bethesda being reinforced? Are they growing as a publisher, as a studio? Are they hiring? Are they growing? Are they getting all the assistance they need to create a new engine? That one that preferably doesn't suck. You see my point? Like, it's all well and good Xbox buying publishers, but they need to focus on the studios that they've got. 343 would not have happened if 343 had crazy amount of support from support studios and they had that infrastructure and reinforcement. Halo Infinite wouldn't have gone through the trauma that it's gone through, the development trauma that it's gone through, if they had a lot of infrastructure there in place to assist them to does that make sense, to be a better studio, to kind of work efficiently? And
Really, you make a good point there, because as much as we see Sony buying studios and stuff, we're also seeing a lot of their already established developers hiring. So they're not only bringing all these new companies in, they're also bringing in new people as well.
100%. I feel like Sony have seen Microsoft flexing, laughed at it, and said we've got a far more ingenious way of doing things, a far more understated way, but a far more effective way of doing things. Whilst you're there buying an entire publisher that, as Faulkner, I think it was Faulkner, said when he was on the show last week or the week before, when you buy a huge bulk of people that haven't been specified with specific roles, but you buy 9 studios as one big publisher, there's going to be a lot of layoffs. There's going to be a lot of job positions that don't fit Xbox's vision. That did fit ZeniMax's vision at the time. There's going to be a lot of reshuffling and a lot of work involved to coordinate all these people now to do things Xbox's way and not ZeniMax's way when ZeniMax was independent. So there's a lot of baggage that leads to a lack of efficiency. But what Sony are doing is they're specifying particular criteria and skill sets within the industry that specific studios focus on and are kind of expertise in. Yeah, get them. And these people have always had history with PlayStation as well. You know, like Valkyrie worked on God of War 2018. So it's like that they're not just bothered about new acquisitions, they're also bothered about growing and nurturing and strengthening and reinforcing the studios they currently have. And that's why I think this is so clever, you know?
Like I said last time, I think that David Faulkner was here. I also said the same thing. There's a difference between, making a partnership or relationship with a company versus making relationship and a partnership with the people. And it got emphasized again and again and again that Sony make relationships or partnerships with the people themselves. Again, for me, this got capitalized on the Game Awards. Again, every time Ember Lab or House Marquee, wins an award, the way they're thankful for the support, basically from everyone from Sony, it's just really building a relationship through the people. Always through the people. That's why I said it's kind of hard for me to believe that Sony would buy a publisher, because I would rather believe they would buy 9 studios instead of 9 publisher with 9 studios, because they want to make relationships or partnerships with the people themselves.
Big facts.
The people themselves, so much not better. The company.
It's such a better way, the bot community flexing. Well, Microsoft bought an entire publisher, and it's like, well, that's not necessarily a good thing.
This is the funny thing about it, and I started blocking really dumb people about this because I really find it fucking stupid. So it's like this, right? Let's just say, buying a pre-existing let's say a studio like Valkyrie Entertainment is not organic growth. Like, let's say it like that, right? Let's just say it's inorganic when you acquire them. However, the purpose behind the acquisition is to nurture them so that they can, let's say they can be better, they can be bigger, they can make the games that they want to make. That's basically organic growth as well, the way they nurture these studios within them. And whenever people, I see, this is the first thing I saw when Valkyrie got acquired, or House Marquee, for example. What did they make before? Like, what are they popular for? Are they even popular? Who the hell is that? Something like that, right? So they're unknown. Let's just say it like that. Small, they may be unknown to the, they're not popular. They're not the norm. But that's the thing. Sony acquired these kind of studios. They don't really care about that past. They want to look into the people and the talent of those people. They can nurture that talent that they believed in. That's why they were acquired. And then they can, they'll be able to make games, great games in the future. For example, House Marquee, You know, they've been making great games before, but again, they were not that popular until Returnal happened. They really put their name on the map. They really put their name on the map, and now, you know, and now they're gonna be recognized as one of those, let's say, quote unquote popular studios. Like if you're gonna say House Marquee, people are gonna know who they are. If you say House Marquee, let's say 3 years, 4 years ago, not a lot of people would know them. It's just the truth, you know. There not a lot of people who know them, but now they're on the map because you know they were nurtured. They knew the talent, and they, you know, they delivered, and it's kind of like organic growth within, even though it was not organic growth when they were acquired.
Shout out to
So
DZ.
this is
DZ is here
yeah,
in the house.
yeah.
What's good, brother?
It was
Hey,
always
how's it
it
going?
was always funny to me. Yeah, Fire Sprite again. DZ would testify. Fire Sprite is another one. Fire Sprite is kind of like one of those two, just like who the hell is that? You know, that was like the first reaction, right? And then, you know, Fire Sprite might become a house market and make it eat their words. They're gonna deliver, and they're gonna be put on the map. Like everybody's gonna
They're
know
gonna
Fire
deliver
Sprite when
for
they
sure.
release their game. Yeah, go ahead, DZ. Sorry.
What's
Yeah,
up,
they're
DZ?
definitely gonna be. What's going on, guys? Sorry, I'm just checking in. Great discussion points going on here. I was at a Christmas party with my partner,
Awesome.
and we just got in. So, yeah, I'm nursing a hangover
You
as
didn't
well.
invite any of us.
I know.
That's
Where's
come
our
on, man.
invite, bro? Wait, there's three Brits in this chat right now. There's Zuby, there's family, there's Nebrico, and there's me. I mean, no, sorry,
Whoa, I'm American.
Nebrico's
Yeah.
American. Sorry, there's
I'm
me,
American myself,
Zuby,
so.
and the family man.
I'm not alone.
We should have got invites, bro.
Oh man.
I'm
But
glad
yeah,
you're doing well, man. Glad you had a good time.
thank you. Thanks.
So,
So, what were you guys? What were you guys talking about
we've been
before?
talking about Valkyrie.
Uh,
An amazing
yeah.
acquisition because what they've worked on, but also the fact that they're another support studio. And we were kind of talking about how it seems like Sony are focused on reinforcement and strengthening their first party studios that currently exist in house. And that's why that's such a formidable and understatedly better tactic than, say, buying an entire publisher of studios that may not even fit your vision, that may require that and layoffs and
Point on that. So my point on that has always been people were scratching their head when they said, "Oh, why would Sony just buy Nixus?" You know, and one of the main questions I was getting surrounding that acquisition, because it came out of left field for everybody, was Nixus only does porting and supporting and whatnot. Why would Sony need a support studio when they already have visual arts service group? And the thing is, and these studios, they're there to shore up the talent for side projects and main projects. They you can have talented teams like Naughty Dog and everything like that pump out these games, but eventually you also need they're going to be faced with other tasks for certain things, and having to hire what is it when you have to go out and hire contracted studios like, say, Valkyrie, that takes a little bit out of the own budget and whatnot, and there are other things that you have to focus on and stuff. So I've always thought it's a good idea to, while you're also adding to your first party output in terms of studios that are already capable of pumping out an IP, you also desperately need to have a back end sort of studio that can come in with their great, brilliant technical capabilities with optimizations and figuring out all the intricacies of making a game polish and feature complete. And the more you focus on having these internal studios that are dedicated to solving those game development problems for optimization, or figuring out how you're going to get something to work, or come in with high quality art, it always makes sense to, go ahead and shore up your back end that way, because it only empowers the content creating teams, the IP producing teams, to be at their best, because that's one less thing that they have to kind of worry about, because there's also support going on to fix certain problems. So it's this thing came out of left field for me too, but like it's pretty there. It's a very strategic move based on how Herman and Jim is approaching acquisitions. And people will say, well, we don't know these people, so what the fuck are they good for? And they've only produced one game. And I'm like, well, they may have only released one game themselves, but they have contributed across the industry on 100 of games. And and they're like, it's an insignificant purchase, and it doesn't matter in anything because Xbox has this. And I'm just like, well, two games that the Xbox camp swears by is Halo and Forza, and Valkyrie's worked on both of those. Valkyrie's put their hand in that, and they've literally helped Halo get out of the fucking ditch that it was in, and they've crossed the finishing line. With the things that they've managed to work for. And it's the same thing with Nixis, who has done remarkable work with optimizing Tomb Raider and optimizing, Marvel's Avengers, as despite the what's the word I'm looking for? Despite the feel of the game, or I should say the nature of the gameplay, those games are technically brilliant, and they're very polished on the machines that they've come out for. So like these kind of things are great. You can definitely buy your house marks, buy your blue points, buy your fire sprites, and put those people in charge of working on their own games. But then you're also going to come through with hurdles of like the back end stuff, that when certain things need to be finished up, and instead of delaying, now you have more workforce to come in and help a project go to completion. So like when you have these situations, you're able to divvy out your workforce, plan your budget better and stuff like that, and put out much better technical games, because these people aren't just support studios that are there to help a project across, but they're also quite knowledgeable as well. Like if you look at how Herman describes basically every one of those things, they come with a lot of talent for deep technical knowledge and whatnot. So it all works itself out. So like I dig these forms of acquisitions, and these are people that have worked and contributed to these big games. And then you also have the people like Fire Sprite, which have worked with Sony for so long. Most people didn't even know that they've worked at Sony that long, and look at them. They're now creating their own games and whatnot, and they have a deep suite of technical knowledge. So like it's a fun topic to kind digest and mull over and figure out what Sony's end game is. And they're not done. They're not done buying. And they're looking at more opportunities to shore up their first party development and expand their first party development with not just buying more studios, but also turning some of their premier teams their premier studios into multi-project studios. And they're also doing that too. So like, people right now, acquisition Twitter is the talk point because Microsoft has gone and bought,
It
and
was literally
Sony's buying, and
Microsoft buying 7.5 billion on ZeniMax that started this whole thing, wasn't it?
I
This whole interest.
yeah. So, but it becomes, like I said, it becomes a thing of content production, right? As people finish games and these games take much longer to produce, you can't fall into the thing of relying on just the crown jewels. You got to put more games into, you got to get more developers and more, paying independent developers is cool too and whatnot, but like at some point you want to bring those things in house to fortify your things. So like they're spending, and they're not done spending. I think Akira mentioned something that was pretty interesting. He said Sony's approach is to build relationships and partnerships with people, not just the studios. And I think that's a great talking point. Because if you look at the third-party PlayStation IP partnerships that they've announced with Deviation, Firewalk, and Haven, every one of those studios has said that Herman and the team at PlayStation literally sat down with them and wasn't even trying to say, oh, we're just going to commission you. We wanted to give you guys Herman said it himself. He said these studios are being set up by very popular people, influential people within the industry, but we want to nurture them and make sure that if something turns into an acquisition down the road, that's fine. We're not trying to acquire them. We're trying to give them the confidence and the tools to see how we work and how to best put them forward so that we could continue to have these relationships. So like the head of Deviation Games said the same thing. The head of Haven, Jade Raymond, said the same thing, and even the people over at Firewalk all said the same thing or a similar thing. That's like, there is a clear establishment of a relationship where Sony just wants to empower, and they feel that they understand the needs of developers and what they need. So like, we even look at those things where Sony isn't even buying these studios; they're giving these studios the resources to make these games, and they're not even trying to buy them. So like, it goes back to that partnership with people, and people are the soul of the thing. If you have a good working relationship with the people, they'll continue to come back and whatnot. So
listen to what Jade Raymond said about Sony, how they, what was the word she used? They were, they're the best, they're the most, I can't remember what she said in an interview.
Their creative process.
That's the one, Zuvi. You're there with the receipts.
Yeah.
They are the perfect people that understand the creative process of independent developers and what they want and what they need and how best to support them. And it's like you can't just buy that level of respect.
No, you definitely can't.
And think about this, right?
You could have the money and whatnot, but like, you literally can go in and aggressively buy something because you're lacking in the content, and that's fair play. When your superpower is money, you got to do what you got to do to get those things, right? And so like, I'm not going to knock Microsoft for their approach to conjuring content, because video game consoles and platforms, every platform needs their hook, and they need to be selling to their consumer base, and they have to deliver that. So like, get it how you get it. But there is definitely two different schools of thought with how they approach, with how each of these approach things. And it's not just because, oh, we want to have a studio. we need more studios, but there has to be a technical understanding. There has to be a thing to nurture these developers and help them to grow, and putting them on the a strong creative path for creative freedom and whatnot. And that's literally what most of these developers are.
It's exciting, bro. It's exciting.
Yeah,
OT, you were gonna say something, bro?
Yeah. You know, when I look at Sony's strategy,
I'll turn your
again, I
mic up.
totally
Sorry,
agree
one
with.
sec. You're a bit quiet. I'll turn your mic up. Hold on.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
You can hear me now?
Let me find your name. There you are. There you go. Now
Okay.
speak.
Okay. So I totally agree with DZ. First of all, DZ, for somebody who has drunk as much as you have drunk, I could not tell.
It's so true.
Nursing, like I said, I'm still nursing this hangover, bro. Still nursing this hangover.
Off the shit.
I'm impressed. That was the most impressive part.
Come on, look at the size of the guy, though. He's built like freaking a black Henry Cavill. I'm sure he can take. I'm sure he could take 2 times what he's already had. No problem.
I swear. But what I also agree with him is that when you look at Microsoft's strategy, they have a lot of money, and I will not criticize them for their strategy of buying a publisher. But Sony, of course, have less money and have to make every bullet count. Microsoft, if you look at even the history of that company, there have been many attempts into different fields that have failed. They can afford failure. Sony cannot afford failure.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if you look at Sony's strategy, they have been very developer-centric. Mark Cerny is a developer who is leading the hardware of PS5 and will lead the hardware of PS6. He led the hardware of PS4. So as a developer...
And he also informed the development of the Vita, which is by far Sony's most unique. When they say unique, I mean uniquely developed, geared towards the developer. Like everything that they did on that when they were prototyping and everything, everybody was at the table for that, and like it's perhaps even more easier to develop for the Vita than it is to develop for the PS5. And the PS5 is a very, very, very easy machine to develop for, to get code up running. It's faster to get code up running on the PlayStation 5 than it is on a PS4. And that's over iteration. So like that's supposed to tell you just how after the whole Ken Kutaragi thing and they were approaching this thing, the Vita was in development the same time as the PlayStation 4. But the Vita was farther along. So like Mark Cerny was very much informing the developers of this new approach. And like they used to consider PlayStation development for the PS1 and the PS2 and the PS3 as a walled garden. That's how they developed. That's how they dealt with it. It was a walled garden, this beautifully crafted thing, but all the expertise was internal, and everybody else was stuck to find out how this stuff works on their own. So that's why the development thing has now shifted. So developing on PlayStation is far more inclusive, and that took Mark Cerny going to these developers and asking these tough questions and just saying, okay, no more exotic bullshit. We're going to give you power, but we're also going to give you the tools to create everything that you need from the start. And all your input is going to inform how we develop our hardware. And that's literally how it's been since the Vita on up. Mm-hmm. So,
big fact.
You know, the other thing is, so we've gone from Mark Cerny, because Kent Kotaragi created that mess. I'm not going to say it badly, but the PS3... It was the PS3 was a mess in terms of it was not developer focused. But now you look at Mark Cerny. Now you look at Herman Hulse taking the head, and you're seeing this developer centric focus, and it is because.
Sorry, OT. I'll let you finish your point, bro. Sorry, but did you just notice Forspoken is exclusive for 2 years on PlayStation?
Yeah.
Yes.
I've only just noticed that. I just saw it there. I didn't know it was 2 years. I just thought it could have been a year for all I know. Sorry, carry on.
No.
So the thing is, what I feel about Sony is Sony have to make every bullet count. They cannot release lackluster. They need every bullet to count. Microsoft, being the company it is, I'm not criticizing them, but they can afford the luxury of failure in certain aspects that Sony cannot.
Yeah, and it comes from years of experience of being in there and going through their coming to Jesus moment with the PlayStation 3 and its reckoning of arrogance. $600 dollar price tags, tough hardware. I mean, long time to extract power and stuff like that. And of course, Microsoft's approach to the 360 was, hey, let's get everybody in and get those developers focused and whatnot. So years of experience and time to be on the top and lose the top, lose your position at the top can teach you lessons, right, to inform your future. And this is why this resurgence and this renaissance that Sony's going through right now is remarkable in of itself, because they did a complete turnaround. And once the PlayStation
together towards the second half of PS3, didn't they? They started to realize, we need to sort our shit out.
Yeah.
Even though it had a very tough launch, I think PS3 today is still one of my favorite.
PS3 is honestly, guys, up to now, it might change. Up to now, PS3 is my favorite generation. PS3 is so underrated. It's untrue. Like the games that they put out, the games that PlayStation 3 got, wow.
They definitely decided to put out the more experimental stuff. Japan Studio led that charge, and then of course it also was the big focus and the big shift is where you started to see the Western developers really step into their own and kind of run ahead of the Japanese industry, the Japanese gaming industry in that sense, because I don't know, there was just it was a big shift. Sony realized that they couldn't just rely on leadership position that they had, because all of that had gone. So they started out looking out for more content in some of the more obscure places, like Media Molecule and whatnot. So that the content, the cadence and the cadence that they were able to deliver the content to was remarkable for once they got past 2008.
Killzone 2, Uncharted 2,
Resistance,
1, 2,
Infamous
and 3.
1 and 2. Yeah, I mean,
bro, Starhawk,
Warhawk and Starhawk, dude, the sheer breadth of stuff that they.
Starhawk's
incredible. It definitely was.
Warhawk as well. Wow.
Warhawk,
yeah. So they've done really well to turn their ship around, and it's really, like Oti said, it's a developer focused thing, but that comes from that kind of focus, and everything comes from the fact that they were on top and they lost that, and they suffered.
There's no greater redemption arc, is there, than Sony?
No, there really isn't, right?
I mean, it's the No Man's Sky of game publishers, of console developers.
I definitely, they needed that though, because I think PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, especially this now, is just they're untouchable. I think they've developed such goodwill amongst their consumer base with what they're able to deliver, and it's showing. And I'm happy now, more so now, because they're now spending that capital that they've earned over a generation to address the need for content, and to address the need of not necessarily relying on Naughty Dog.
Not one-trick ponies.
Yeah, exactly. And they have
Xbox are trying now to imitate them and emulate them. Arguably Hellblade 2 is one of the most anticipated Xbox games out there, and it's it's basically what Sony have always done. It's
it is the sole reason why I have an Xbox. I like I said, people know me. I love my single player narrative driven cinematic thing.
It was incredible.
And Hellblade was fantastic. So
it was
like
flawed with the gameplay, but the story and aspects. I loved the combat. People say they hated it. I thought the combat was really visceral and really dramatic. It was really dramatic.
It was good.
It was you felt like this vulnerable woman, but at the same time she had this power within her, and it's that's what the combat to me kind of was showing, that you were a vulnerable woman, yet you had this internal power to overcome your demons, and that's why it was understated combat. It was kind of quite simple, but impactful at the same time. I think people just didn't grasp that. That's why so many criticize the combat. But for me, I mean, I've been trolling a little bit. I've been calling it Hell Blur too, because it's blurry.
We've been seeing it. The motion blur is a little bit excessive.
You can't capture a still image, a crisp image with that game. But at the same time, I'm still very excited for it, and I can't wait to play it because I loved the first game so much. It made me cry. Exactly. It made me cry, bro. Like the end of the first game had me in tears.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a very powerful and evocative exploration of psychology and dementia, and their way. Like, I've always been a Ninja Theory fan, so like whatever they produce, I know I'm going to play it and enjoy it at some point. I have my feelings about their last game, which I thought was just, they shouldn't have gone there, but
bleeding,
just
calls it.
But yeah, even still, they're in form now, and I'm happy that they're still around to make a game like Hellblade 2 and to take even bigger risks with this thing. So like, yeah, man, I'm super hyped. It looked fantastic at the Game Awards this year. You could clearly see the difference between in iteration times over the thing. They've now moved from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5, and they're doing some things, and the geometry is more complex and whatnot. But like, it looked fantastic, and I was hyped. The gameplay so much wasn't the star of the show, but it was just
something funky was going on with that gameplay, bro. It was like the way she was running as well. It was like she was on a treadmill going backwards, and she was struggling to. It was odd. It was weird. It was like the floor was slippery.
I don't think that was gameplay.
No,
it wasn't gameplay, because from a gameplay perspective, I would find it very bad to play from those camera angles. If I'm trying to aim at the boss, I can't. It didn't fit.
Is there a look over shoulder button? It just doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't make sense. But what it did show, and maybe this is leading into another topic, but when I look at Hellblade and that 6 minutes, I was more impressed than anything I've seen of Halo. And that is not an offense, but it is just a testament to that is exactly what I wanted to see
out of an Xbox. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
I watched somebody play the whole campaign because our Halo did not impress me enough to get an Xbox. But what I saw of the 6 minutes of Hellblade was better than any 6 minutes I can give to you and say, here's 6 minutes of Halo, you will like this. Hellblade won me over more than Halo.
I've got a bone to pick with that game. I tell you guys, I mean, I was basing my assumptions off a lot of reviews that I've been absolutely dog walked by the Xbox community this last few days. They have been thirsty for my name because I basically shared the criticisms of other reviewers like Skill Up, Jake Baldino, also G-Man Lives, and others too, are all basically saying that the world is one note, so bland and boring, but also as well as that, it's the combat that is the only saving grace. But like the characters are annoying. The characters are annoying, and let me tell you guys, honestly, I felt like breaking my monitor. Like just an hour in, the pilot, I cannot tell you how annoying he is. Every single thing that he says is negative. Not a single thing. He gets off the jet. Oh, finally, solid ground, kisses it. But does this mean we can go now? We need to go. Go now. Oh, get off this place. It's shit. You know, it's like you've just kissed the ground. Like you're happy to be here, but then you're moaning about being here. And Master Chief, the Master Chief, is with you, and you're telling him he's stupid and that he can't do this, that we can't do this on our own. But then he says there's a weapon I need to get. Then he's saying, a weapon? How many guns do you need? That makes no sense. He's basically saying you've got enough guns already. You don't need more. Well, weren't you just saying before that we're outgunned and that we're out and that we're gonna lose and that we're gonna die? You're just complaining for the sake of complaining. Like, they didn't think the writing through at all.
I think it's poor. Yeah, I think that was poor writing. But like I said, not everybody could afford to be. And not everybody could. Not everybody.
The world, bro. Don't get me started on the world. Like, I'm bored of it after 3 hours. I can't cope with it. I can't.
The question that I want to ask for somebody at 343 is, you had 6 years to make this game, and I get it. Maybe some of those years it was scrapped, right? Why did we get a story out saying that that they had to remove a lot of the contracting staff from the game because they can't afford them? That's either A, lie, or B, Microsoft is not funding them to keep up the contractors to create this game. I find that to be a little asinine on Microsoft's end. If you're not paying for contractors to help your flagship title for Xbox. I just found that to be ridiculous. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, I can try to go find that tweet for you.
Leviathan Gamer, I'm not gonna specify it's him. That there are other people that I know as well, but Leviathan Gamer knows a lot about this situation, and because he has contacts within the actual studio and stuff. But I've heard through the grapevine from others as well that the whole idea that it was 500 million budget is false. It's actually significantly under budgeted for what it should have been. It's about 60% to 70% the budget of a typical Sony AAA. And the last year they've literally been scraping to get a game together in the last year, which explains literally the asset pack quality open world. Like, it is as if the map creation tools you get in like Far Cry 2, or like you just at home on your PlayStation and you have this ability to create like an open world with a terraforming tool that to create hills and
awesome,
shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that's how Halo Infinite's world was made. Like, I shit you not. It's just hills and trees and rocks and not very well connected. It all feels very disconnected, and the locations of these bases. But I've got Family Man Gamer on here for a reason. He's an Xbox fan, and I want a bit of balance to the panel, but at the same time, I mean, I cannot understand.
What are you talking about? My brother's a PlayStation pony that just happens to have an Xbox.
I know. What should I say?
He couldn't find a PS5 yet.
He's a PlayStation fan.
He couldn't find a PS5 yet.
He's a PlayStation fan supporting the underdog,
Yeah.
But,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was talking, and I don't think I had to disconnect. No, I like Xbox well enough. I am more of a PlayStation fan, but
I told you.
I'll give them their dues when I feel they deserve it, though. Oh, DC knows me well. DC does know
That's
me well.
because
Like,
I game with this man all the time. So like, um, he's he's one of my oldest friends too. Like before I even got into this industry, we used to before I even got into this industry, we used to chop it up on N4G, News for Gamers.
like 10 years
So
ago, man.
like 10
No
years ago.
way,
So like,
you two have a history. Oh, bro, this is so
Yeah.
yeah, so
cute.
he's 100% my bro, dude. Love him, love his family, love his
Alright, I'm getting
all
jealous.
of them, and
Stop.
like,
I'm getting
so
jealous.
like,
Nothing
so
but love
like
for DC over
when
here,
you
man.
say when you say stuff like, oh,
I
I'm
thought I
bringing
was
in
your
an
boo boo.
Xbox, dude, I'm like, he's PlayStation.
Alright,
Sony.
fair enough.
That's my bro.
He volunteered
But-
himself as an Xbox, so he's going to be
But
playing devil's
he
advocate.
is he is very
He's,
much balanced, though. He is very much balanced because he spent a whole lot of time in that ecosystem, much longer than I have.
He's
And
similar to Hawaiian
I
guy
digress.
in the sense that, or Uso Vinny in the chat. He's similar to him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
except Uso Vinny's, I would argue, is probably more pro Xbox than PlayStation, but
Yep.
he's still very
Yep.
balanced. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
See, my only issue with I was always a big fan of MS, especially during the 360 days. I just thought that they were on a roll. The games they were producing were awesome. You know, stuff like PGR and Forza and stuff that I like. But for me, they just started letting me down. They stopped producing the games. It felt like they stopped caring about me owning their console, which was what
Well,
made
that's
me.
you and millions of others.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't just me that felt that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Big facts.
That was a big thing for me too, because when I was like I had PS2, PS1, PS3, but my father have always had an Xbox in the house as well, and I'm actually a big Halo fan, which is like I can get into a whole nother thing with Infinite because like I'm deep with Halo lore and like I've been playing it since 2001, so like I'm very deep in the series. But again, I have a lot to say about that. But when it comes to Xbox, during the 360 era, I was a massive Xbox fanboy. Like I was weird about it. And then they really started to let people down, like you said, Man Gamer. They're really starting to just let people down. And I guess now they're kind of picking it up a bit, but still today, none of their games intrigue me. I don't really care about Gears of War.
They're getting a 10 out of 10 for participation, and that's what kind of frustrates the shit out of
They're
me.
getting the participation
series.
trophy.
Yeah.
The Horizon series is very good. Well, for me, sorry, I'm a big racing fan. It doesn't touch Gran Turismo for me, as that's my favorite game. Full stop. Gran Turismo is my IP, man. I love it to bits. But yeah, they've done really well.
There's a lack of longevity to Forza Horizon 5, right? Because people are getting bored of it already. The player base has dropped so much faster than Forza Horizon 4, but that's because it's going for the sandbox element. You know,
honestly, I've nearly finished all of the single player stuff.
Yeah.
Literally all the races, everything. It's nearly done. It didn't take me too long to go. I'm still playing, for comparison's sake, I'm still playing GT Sport to this day.
Yeah, well, this is the point, right? This is where the longevity of GT Sport is a whole different league, because it's a simulation. It's about the vehicles you're driving. It's there's room for experimentation and testing. There's not really any of that with Forza Horizon 5. It's kind of as wide as an ocean, but as shallow as a puddle, because it's literally, you can drive through brick walls, drive through hedges, drive through everything, and it's like Assassin's Creed all over again, right? There's a level of boredom that comes from a lack of consequence and a lack of what's the word? This whole sandbox, go wherever you want. It doesn't hold weight anymore to what it used to. And so, hey, that mountain, I can drive over there. You could do that in Fuel, a 2006 game on PS3, for goodness sake. It's no longer the selling point of a game. Now, if Forza Horizon 5 had kind of a weight to the mistakes that you make, had consequence, had experimentation with the physics of the vehicles, maybe then there would be something going for it in longevity.
Well,
but
see, you can do something to remedy that a little bit. The likes of your difficulty options and stuff. But the problem you'll then face is the people
Rubber
online
banding.
won't be using them.
Yeah.
No, well, basically, if you decide to put simulation damage on and you decide to have no ABS and no traction control, well, everybody's going to beat
God
you in
mode.
every.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, you've just disadvantaged yourself because nobody else online will be using those because they're not playing it like that. Do you know what I mean? So really, you'd only be making it harder for yourself. So yeah, I agree with your points. I get what you're saying.
And I'm not just trying to shit on it. I bought it. Yeah, I can't play
No,
it.
I get what you're saying.
But from a lot, I've got Forza Horizon 4, and it's the same issue. You know, it's it only lasts you so long. The eye candy is only so much. An impressive volcano.
The buzz wears off.
Yeah, it does. You get used to it.
I agree with you.
And so they're kind of relying on this fresh new fix, and it just. Yeah, it's just a fix, bro, and that's it. But
I wanted to give some comments on Halo. Now, Halo, I have a love-hate relationship with Halo. Let me say this: a confession from a Sony pony. When I was, by the way, I've taken some weed, so I'm compromised.
You sound compromised, bro. You're like, let me tell you about Halo.
Where was I? Anyway, yeah. So when I was a kid, I saw the trailer of Halo 2. I had already seen the trailer of Halo 1, and the game came out, and everyone was loving it. And there was nothing I could objectively criticize about Halo 1. Maybe when I played it, I felt the narrative was not as strong as, let's say, games like Metal Gear. But by the time Halo 2 came out, there was so much hype behind the trailer and what I saw. And I finally asked my dad, can I get an Xbox? But let me not say unfortunately, he had just bought me a PS2. He was in no mood to get me an Xbox afterwards. So he was angry with me. He told me, how can you ask me for a new console after I've just bought you one? But he didn't understand Halo had made me ask him. And I feared he was even going to beat me for asking him. But I said, I will risk it for Halo. Now, that's telling you how impressive Halo was for me to do that. I risked a beating. But when I look at Halo today, and I watched somebody play it, I watched Jaffe play it, and I watched others play it to the end. I'm sorry. This Halo is a shadow of what Halo was. You may say it is, some people may say it's a good game. No, Halo was not a good game. It was a fantastic game that used to cover all aspects of gaming. Visuals, sound, story, cinematics, everything.
I don't know if visuals would be one of the key takeaways because Bungie, on the original Xbox, Halo was great and Halo 2 was great and Halo 3 was fine. But
I'm talking about the original Halos.
Oh, the original.
Yeah.
I think for me, Halo only started to look better when Bungie overhauled the engine for Reach. That was when Halo, I thought, was starting to play in the same
category as like
ballpark. Yeah, I think if for me, Halo became something interesting with Reach because they overhauled the engine. The game no longer looked like it was still stuck in the thing. So like,
but I'll say this.
The gameplay, for a fact, though, and I will agree with you, has been the hallmark, the calling point, and that was something Bungie nailed. And to see 343 kind of flounder that for me is,
Carry on with your point, OT.
Yeah, but so what I'm trying to say is, if you look at Halo 1 and Halo 2, if you compare them, Halo 2, was it Halo 2 that came out at the same period as MGS2? And I think both got 96% from GameSpot or Games Master, I can't remember, way back. But the thing is, Halo 2 was actually visually, even Halo 1 was visually impressive considering what we had on PlayStation. And in fact, Halo 2 had some graphical features they had not named. So the team had to name certain graphical features in Halo 2. Today we're looking at a Halo where visually it cannot stand against even things like Stalker 2. We're busy talking about the best 6 minutes of Hellblade 2 compared to any 6 minutes in what's this? Halo. So the thing is, I feel Halo has failed to bring in new people. I think Forza did a better job of impressing people to bring in new customers. I think the media was too scared to honestly rate Halo where it should have been. I'm sorry, I know it sounds like I'm being harsh, but that game was not a 10. It was not a 9.
It's about a 7 for
seriously.
me. Not even that. I'd say it's a 6 for me personally. Just because of the open world, in my opinion, is insufferable. But it's honestly insufferable, as well as the pilot. He just makes me want to rip my hair out and eat my own tongue. You know.
Notice this. Many people who rated Halo highly have come out with another video later to say, okay, these are the issues that I found with Halo. You can't tell me about the issues after you reviewed it. You know, that's the thing. There's a dishonesty that I feel is there with these Halo reviews. This kind of thing doesn't happen to other guys. 10 out of 10
for participation, OT. 10 out of 10 for participation. Yeah. It's good job, Xbox. You released a game.
Period.
But let's move. Go on. Sorry.
One
more thing. Just to say,
it's fun.
For the grapple hook, whatever. But I'm just gonna say,
I'm just winding you up.
No, I understand. The only thing is, just because guys will say I'm a fanboy, I never said this for Forza. I never said this for the Ascent. I never said this for any other Xbox game that reviewed highly. I've only said this for Halo Infinite. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. But it's fun.
Exactly.
It's got a grapple hook, like Just Cause. Anyway, let's move on to sorry guys, to
that was a great American accent.
Gee, thanks, man.
There it is.
He's trying.
The Game Awards 2021, dudes. There's a show and then there's a show. Tell me all about it, guys. What did you love? What are your thoughts about it? What was the highlight for you?
I honestly was not going to tune into it because of the whole Activision thing. But seeing Jeff come out and actually, dedicate some time to that, even before the show, was a strong indication of being able to use your platform to call out the injustices. So I enjoyed that. I gotta tell you, the two biggest things for me of that show, well, three. One was Hellblade. Seeing it live and running real time and not being a CGI like the initial trailer was.
Hellblur, bro. Hellblur. Carry on.
Seriously, the motion blur is a lot, but like, I was fucking impressed. That is a 12 teraflop console machine game. That is a game that sells the promise for me. So like, that will make me go out and trade my Series S and get a Series X. So I fucking dug that. Seeing Horizon Forbidden West was fantastic. Like, I got shivers, goosebumps seeing Aloy move like that. The seamless switches so like Sony and Guerrilla have been putting out info drops on Horizon now every 2 weeks on a Monday. blog post. They do a blog post about the designs, how they're building the world stuff, and one of the things that they said was Aloy's tools is the fact that she could now hot swap suits and hot swap gear from the fly, and they demonstrated that within the seamless scene cuts that they were doing for this well edited trailer showing the combat and everything. But like there was just something about the scale, about the number of machines that you could fight now at once. Like at any given time, you'd see a number of machines grazing, but like you'd only fight like maybe 3 or 4 of them at a time. Like there were aspects within this thing where you saw 4, 5, 6 machines. Some of them are large and small, but they're like all coming at Aloy, and she's running and like bruh, goosebumps. And then of course they showed some of a number of new machines, and I was like, a fucking serpent? Are you kidding me? Like when I saw that, I literally just said, okay, man, I definitely need this game. And I'm like, yes, Elden Ring can get delayed because I know for a fact that I'm devoting 100% of my time and energy to that game first before I dive into Elden Ring. So like, that was great to see. And then I think the show-stopping announcement for me though was to learn that Alan Wake 2 was coming.
Wow.
Like honestly, I think that was Jeff's. That was the biggest thing for me. That was on the scale of like an Elden Ring announcement or a From Software announcement. Like I've wanted Alan Wake. I've wanted an Alan Wake sequel ever since beating it on 360 many years ago. So like
you encapsulated it perfectly when you tweeted out an Alan Wake survival horror sequel. Because when you think about it, survival horror hasn't really been done justice for a long time. I mean, I guess there's Resident Evil 2, but I don't know, guys. For me,
it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had some like really good. I think the last creepy survival horror game I played was Dead Space and Dead Space 2.
Yeah.
After that, the Resident Evils have all kind of varied between the action, but like, no man, Alan Wake being full on horror. Oh, bro, that is a big fucking deal. And
people
like,
were thinking Silent Hill at first, but yeah,
but like, I fucking enjoyed the shit out of Control. I enjoyed, like, I'm a massive Remedy fan, so like, for me, the one big thing that I'm hoping is that I think Remedy games should make their games and whatnot, but like, I want them under the banner of Sony because they get story, they understand story much like Sony does, and I'm being selfish and I'm being a massive fanboy for saying this, but like, if there is any acquisition I want more than I've wanted for, like, and people tell you, like, my top acquisition for me has been Housemarque, and I'm super excited for Fire Sprite, because I know what they're working on and whatnot. But like, apart from those two, I want Remedy in-house. They deserve all the financial backing, all the massive freedom that they need, and Sony would give that to them. They have a very great relationship. As a matter of fact, if you don't know, Sony, they're fully funded by Epic Games, but they have a partnership with Sony for Alan Wake. For Alan Wake. So they've gone ahead and inked a thing. So the game is going to be led. The development is being led on PlayStation, and there's going to be stuff coming down the pipeline with additional stories and stuff like that. But like, there is a whole lot that the studio can do under the banner of PlayStation, and I selfishly want them just for PlayStation. Like,
I don't blame you.
I don't care.
As long as they
I don't care. Yeah.
As long as they don't have the walking on ice kind of running that was in Control, I'm happy. That's the biggest issue for me. Is
Oh, really?
I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. But what about you, Zuby? What was your highlight?
Definitely, I thought it was a really good show. Definitely Crossfire X. That
Crossfire
looks
X
so
looks
good.
dope, doesn't it?
Yeah, from Remedy as well. So
Yeah.
they're big. So was WB. Suicide Squad looked really good. Definitely gonna pick that up when it comes out. Well, it's Wonder Woman as well.
Akira's hyped about that.
Yeah.
You're botting, bro. You're cutting off. I can't hear your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a bit better now.
Okay. Yeah. It's surprising to see the developer of Wonder Woman. So, Monolith.
Yeah, that was
But
a
yeah.
shock.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show. Jeff did.
Sorry, brother. Your signal is so bad. It's cutting off. But I heard what you said. You said it was a really good show.
Yeah, I'd agree. That was the strongest Game Awards in a while.
I think ever
Game Awards show in a while.
for me ever. What about the rest of the panel? Akira, Nebriko, Family Man Gamer, OT. You've all been you guys have been a bit quiet. Would love to hear your thoughts, Akira, on what got you excited the most. And then we'll touch on other topics about the Game Awards after.
The Game Awards for me was the Game Awards for me was a great show. I enjoyed every announcement, every game reveal. Was sufficient amount of gameplay. The announcements were fair to have CGI on them because they were just announcements. But they made their own impacts. Forspoken is of course on top of my list.
Yeah, bro.
Horizon
that
Forbidden.
Forspoken trailer and Horizon Forbidden West. It's nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Forspoken. How could I overlook Forspoken? I guess because I've seen it so much. But I agree. That was also very strong, and I never expected a Square Enix game to necessarily be there. They typically tend to front load that at a Tokyo Game Show, or they do that at their Jump Festa show, and they always do the Jump Fest. Square Enix normally has the Jump Festa showcases during the end of December and whatnot. It's coming up this week actually, so but still, yeah, Forspoken looked fantastic. Carry on, bro.
Forspoken is again most anticipated game. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was a ton of fun for me. I mean, the way I saw it, I've always trusted Rocksteady. I never doubted Rocksteady, and I was right in trusting Rocksteady. That was so good, and they showed Flash, and the way they portrayed Flash was just that was so good, man. I'm excited for that game. Horizon Forbidden West, like I mentioned. Slitterhead, the father of Silent Hill, is back with an action horror game, from Bokeh Studio.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna keep my eye on that game because that's the father of Silent Hill right there, Ichiro Toyama, with his independent studio, Bokeh Game Studio. And then
I watched an interview of
Wonder Woman
of their concept artist. She's a creepy lady.
Make her. What do you call it? Wonder Woman by Monolith with the Nemesis system and open world sounds promising, so I'm gonna be waiting for that. Star Wars Eclipse with Quantic Dream, they said they're gonna make an action game, and that's the first time Quantic Dream is gonna make an action game. So that's gonna be interesting.
The jury's definitely going to be out for that one because I'm excited. Personally speaking, I enjoy Quantic Dream games. Believe me, I think they're they're different, and then David Cage is eccentric and whatnot. But like, the jury's out because they've never really made an action game before.
Yeah, exactly.
They've had action set pieces and all that other stuff, but like those all have folded within their very strict design parameters around telltale narrative experiences where do this or press these buttons so that this movie experience comes out to progress the story and whatnot, which for those games I enjoy it. I don't know how it's going to work with a Star Wars game, so I'm hoping it's more action oriented, with more traditional controls. But it does not. But they also do have their penchant Quantic Dream esque way of telling a story and stuff like that. I hope that all still remains. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting how they're gonna pull off, an action game. Okay, yeah, and so Sonic Frontier, to be honest, is one game I'm looking forward to. It's the
That
Sonic
looks
Dream.
bonkers. It's like Halo Infinite, but with a Sonic mod.
It's like Breath of the Wild.
The world looks just like it.
It's the Sonic Dream because it's an open world Sonic game, and I've been waiting for a long time to just go crazy with Sonic's powers in an open world setting.
It's called
I've
Breath of
been
the
waiting
Hedgehog.
for a long time.
Hedgehog Infinite.
It's like Kirby getting his open world, Kirby Breath of the Wild basically edition. But yeah, Sonic Frontiers.
All I'm
Sonic
gonna
2?
say is Sonic Frontiers is an answer to why Nintendo need to upgrade their hardware.
They do. Like,
Sonic, the new Sonic Frontier is proof of that. Yeah. Imagine what they'll be able to do with these characters if they actually did these characters justice on superior modern day hardware that isn't 5 light years behind. You know?
Yeah. I agree.
So, what do you call this? So yeah, apart from that, you got the Sonic 2 movie. I'm actually excited for that.
Sorry, Zuby, bro. Sorry, my bro. The mic's being kind of picked up by your phone, and it's
the Sonic 2 movie for me, I love the first one, so I'm excited for the second one way more. I think they all look great. I'm trying to look back. Evil West is also interesting to me. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Evil West looked like a lot of fun. That was that cowboy, the cowboy thing. Basically, it's like an action game with some really cool shooting mechanics. And Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I'm gonna wait. I don't know what to expect. From that.
What was your overall favorite showing of the evening?
It's a tie between Forspoken and Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
really enjoyed those two.
What was your
biggest?
What was your probably the best underdog of the show? Would you say like a game that you were most surprised to see and pleasantly surprised by?
Surprised! Oh, it's Alan Wake 2, man. Like it's been a decade.
Okay, awesome.
It's been a decade. Like I was looking at that trailer and I was like I already had a feeling. All right, is this Alan Wake? And then the title card happened, and then damn, it's Alan Wake. It's been a decade, and it's happening. And the best part about the Game Awards for me is that most of the games that I voted for won, except the ones that Deathloop won. I didn't vote for Deathloop.
Right. Yeah.
Bro,
I didn't vote for. I did not.
Deathloop at all.
I did not. So I did not vote for Deathloop at all. But the others that won, I voted for that. I voted for It Takes Two for Game of the Year. I voted for Kina for the debut indie, and there was one more. I forgot the one. Best narrative for Guardians of the Galaxy. Tales of Arise for best RPG.
Yeah.
Best music is New Replicant. So yeah, most of the games that I voted for won, except the ones that Deathloop won.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shout
I
out
was
to
pleased.
HD Gamer in the chat. He's just mentioned Arc Raiders. That to me looked brilliant.
That is a
Arc Raiders.
very, 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 very interesting. It's a multiplayer game too. It's full on multiplayer.
This is
That looked impressive. It honestly did. I want to see the gritty.
So about Arc Raiders, right? I didn't know the name of this game before, but I've been keeping my eye on it because I knew about Embark Studio, where they consist of veteran ex-Battlefield developers. And they always said that they want to make a next-gen third-person action shooter, but full multiplayer with, I believe they also said possible PvP. I'm not sure about that. I believe I read that somewhere, but yeah, Embark Studio has been developing this game for a while now, like for a long time. I think it's been 2 years. So when I finally saw it, and with the name, and it looks so good, yes, that entices me to play. To be honest, even if it's a multiplayer, that should have been what Battlefield 2042, for me. Like, what Arc Raiders is supposed to be what Battlefield 2042 is right now because of the crazy shit that you can do in the game that would look more spectacular in third person. Like I said, I saw this video in Battlefield 2042. This guy, it was like from a high place, he jumped and glided to this plane, planted a C4 and then jump away like it's Mission Impossible. And I said that would have looked better in third person. That's basically what I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arc Raiders looks cool. Arc Raiders looks really cool. I agree.
Shout out to Zubitech. A huge thank you to him for coming on. I'm just texting him now. Just messaging him. Thank you, Zubi, for joining us, bro. Sorry you couldn't stay for the entirety, but I'm grateful that you came on and shared with us what you did. Always a seat with your name on it, brother, and appreciate you, so thank you. It means a lot. So shout out to him. Go follow Zubi Tech, guys. Zubi_tech on YouTube. On Twitter. Definitely 100 million% worth a follow. But yeah, carry on, guys. Sorry. But shout out to HD Gamer for mentioning Arc Raiders. This looks phenomenal in my opinion. It looks a lot of fun. It's very, very Earth Defense Force, but with a AAA Korean budget. If that makes sense. Is it made in Korea, this game?
What?
Arc Raiders.
No. Again, Arc Raiders is Embark Studio consists of ex-veteran Battlefield developers.
Oh shit!
They're ex-Battlefield developers.
Wow. Okay. I don't know why. Maybe I'm confusing this with Project Magnum.
Project Magnum. Project Magnum.
Because they're all very similar in aesthetic. I'm noticing like Plan 8, Project Magnum, Arc Raiders. There's a lot of similarities in the post-apocalyptic kind of, and the lighting used. They all look quite similar.
Well, that's
but
a
play
very
differently.
interesting. It's always a very interesting concept to explore, and I believe it's not fully explored yet. The genre.
Yeah, I agree.
There's more that you can do with it.
I agree, but I'm hyped. I'm hyped for this game. I think this game looks dope. I mean, it looks phenomenal. But yeah. Guys, so many insane reveals. I'd say my biggest surprises of the show was A Plague Tale Requiem. That looked really good and
they're indie, right?
Yeah, they're an indie studio of incredible talent. Like that talent is unbelievable. Like I just couldn't believe how gorgeous the visuals were. A Plague Tale Requiem.
Asobo
Yeah,
Studios.
Asobo, yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. They're one to watch for. I think they'd be good. I think Microsoft is doing good to court them. But we'll see. I have a feeling Microsoft is trying to buy them. They're just trying to figure out
Whether Game Pass
they're
is
just
for
trying to
them.
figure out how they're going to go about it. But like yeah, I think they're good. They're a wonderful studio, and Plague Tale Requiem does look fantastic. Honestly, this was a very, very fantastic show. It is the best Game Awards show that they've had in a long fucking time. Not even gonna lie.
Yeah. For me, it was now.
Not even gonna lie. Yeah, it was the best that they've had in a while, and I dig it. So.
By the way, there was that interesting indie game. We got Chia or something, I believe. It was like this girl who can, you know, become anything. Do you remember that? It looked like a low budget indie game with an interesting concept.
That's my shout out for my favorite.
Oh,
I want to
it's got
sit down
Breath
and
of
play.
the Wild elements, hasn't it? Kind of, you can turn into like a lantern.
Yeah,
You can turn into
animals.
anything, like animals, things. It's an interesting concept, to be honest.
Oh, that PlayStation.
I'm gonna sit down with the kids.
Here we are. It's Thankyou.
PS4. Okay, Thankyou. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got.
It looks so good.
It's a very interesting concept.
That's my shout out for the show.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I just, as soon as I seen that, I was like, yeah, me and the kids can sit down and play that and just have an awesome time going through it and discovering everything.
That's awesome.
So yeah, sold it for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, it does. It does definitely it's got really good sandbox experimental kind of elements to it. That
it's just charming. It just looks charming.
Yeah,
I'm just, I was just thinking, like the amount of things that they need to think of just to become anything in a game. It's a tall order.
And have it all react right and stuff, like it's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's an interesting concept.
Just look at that. I love it.
The more I'm watching it now, the more I'm respecting it. Actually, yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. It's really cool.
Oh, I will keep
that would be my shout.
We'll see when it's released.
Mm-hmm.
The first Spoken getting a release date, of course. It's one of the best parts. Well, May 25. I'm ready.
Can't
give
wait
it to me.
for that.
It's even got the Last of Us 2 guitar playing mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
So a lot of you actually keep forgetting one important, like probably the best part of the show. And that was the commercial that Xbox had for Game Pass.
That was good.
It was great, man. Like after that, I turned it off. I didn't want to see anything else.
I never understand that. Honestly, that commercial was almost self-defeating.
I'm gonna tell you something. Devolver Digital there was an event before where Devolver Digital did something similar, where they were making this commercial for their company, but in a very funny way, in which they're kind of making a parody of a commercial, which was effective. Which was effective when Devolver Digital did it, but I was not impressed with
the problem
what
with Microsoft is that with that trailer, they literally were saying things like, "We'll just throw money at them." It literally, they said that in the trailer. Like, it was like, do you not have any self-awareness?
It's basically it's like a bad Mighty Keith episode.
It's basically like trying to humorize the situation through self acknowledging one's actual bad qualities or mistakes. I don't know.
Only if you watch Mighty Keith, like I said, it's like a bad Mighty Keith impression of a video. Is what they're doing.
Yeah,
it was just really It was distasteful. I mean, instead of actually showing something that everybody is begging Xbox to do, which is just show us games, bring games, instead of doing something as simple as that, they once again are trying to advertise Game Pass. And I said last night, Wooly, can I cuss, by the way?
By the way, I wanna.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wanna
absolutely.
Say,
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. I
Sorry,
seriously,
sorry.
like last night, I got during the thing, I got so fucking pissed. I'm not even joking with you. The moment I saw it, I rolled my eyes and I was like, dude, this is just like, we get it. There's fucking Game Pass. We get it. Okay, now move on and create the games. Like, I get it. You're trying to sell people on a service, but like, we want to see the games to actually to get into your service. So it was just that really pissed me off. And I did want to say one thing before you say this, Akira. I don't see a whole lot of people talking about it. I know Wooly brought it up, but during the Game Awards when they announced 40K Space Marines 2, I think that was the number one thing that I like jumped out of my chair for, because I played the first one on PS3, absolutely loved it, and I feel like it was critically underrated then.
What game is that?
I feel like now Warhammer 40K Space Marines.
Yeah, honestly, like HD Gamer mentioned that just then, and I tweeted it. I tweeted about it. Like that and Hellblade. It's not Hellblade. Requiem, A Plague Tale were two of the biggest surprises for me of the show.
Yeah,
like,
and nobody's really talking about Space Marines, which is like daunting. Like
dope.
it's kind of daunting. Yeah, it looks amazing. Probably one of the better looking
Gears of War 6. I tweeted out Gears of War 6 looks
saw that,
incredible.
yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
I wanted to also say about Hellblade 2, right? Oh man. Okay. Hellblade. All right, no, before Hellblade, we're gonna do Hellblade last. I'm gonna keep my eye on Saints Row. I think if I just want to have some dumb fun, I think Saints Row can give me that. To be honest, the reboot.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna keep my eye on that. If I don't have nothing to play, then I'm gonna play that. Hellblade 2. All right, so Hellblade 2 was a great. Hellblade 2 was a great visual showcase when it comes to the environment, but that trailer ain't it. Like, it's not the. Let's just say it's not the trailer I was waiting for, because I'm waiting for the trailer for them to just show me that improved combat, because that's one of the main criticisms for the first Hellblade. It was the combat. So for me, that trailer was like a visual showcase, and the environment looked fucking amazing, I gotta admit. But the gameplay that they showed there with the throwing sticks, it can be any game. They cannot make me buy a game if that's what they're gonna show me.
I didn't even consider that gameplay.
Like they can show me Horizon Forbidden West, like for example, Horizon Forbidden West, where Aloy just throws fucking sticks the whole showcase, and I'm also not gonna be enticed to buy Horizon Forbidden West if that's what they did. But it's not.
Akira, you're right. Akira, when I watched those two trailers, Hellblade, I was very impressed by the let me say it's the lighting system, the global illumination. Because if you really look at the character models, I would even go as far as to say Last of Us had superior character models. Senua's model doesn't strike me as so great. It looks very good though. But what made me impressed by that trailer was the lighting, the move, what they did. But the focal depth was so short, I could not appreciate the scenery because it was out of focus. So no one can really tell you, oh, this scenery looks really amazing, because in Horizon they show you, they even go into the water, they explore the environment as much as they show the character. Here it was very focused on Senua. But I won't criticize them, because maybe that's the aspect they were aiming for with this trailer. In future trailers, maybe they'll show more. But what I realized about Gorilla, they are in flex mode. Gorilla right now,
bro, they held back this whole time. They held back what's actually
Exactly.
being featured in this game. Like, if I'm getting up the trailer now, I'm playing it at half speed. It's nuts.
It's
Looks
ridiculous.
amazing.
Those guys were like, it's like they undressed and said, "This is me. I'm swinging this thing." They were impressive. You can't
Just
count.
throwing it over the shoulder.
They
Bro.
threw
Just
it over
Look
the
at
let me
this.
get.
Look how much
He
it's
said,
improved.
OT said, let me show y'all this big African dick.
OT versus
I'm
DZ.
done.
Who's got the bigger dick? Let's go.
I'm done.
Yo, let me tell you guys. I'm sorry. I'm 1 inch from the ground. That's all I'm going to say. That's what these guys were doing. That's what these
I
guys
gotta
were
write
doing.
that down. That's pretty
I'm
good.
1 inch from the ground. I love it, bro.
One
These
inch
guys.
from the ground.
Hey, nobody's
Because
got bigger
that-
balls than Aloy, though. I mean, come on, let's admit it. Aloy has some balls in this game, man. I cannot believe.
Yeah,
What are those
because
smaller
if you-
machines
this-
called? What are they called?
Hmm?
Are they like the
Which-
raptor-looking ones? Did anyone
The
notice
straw,
that?
the claw striders.
Yeah, did anyone notice that they
Or
call
the-
for backup and stuff when they spot you?
Yeah,
Did you
yeah,
see that in the trailer? That was cool, man.
yeah.
But you know the thing is, if you're gonna show me a gameplay trailer, you can't show
Yeah.
me what Senua was doing.
Right.
This Aloy showed me a gameplay trailer that was flossing environments, situations. But I'll say that's why I say I don't think they should have labeled it a gameplay trailer. If that's a gameplay trailer, then that game is gonna have problems. But if it was a more a narrative trailer, then I would say that was fantastic from Hellblade. I
Aye.
still have hope
Aye.
for it, but I think it was wrongly labeled.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that the giant isn't as scary as in the first game. In the first game, the giant was terrifying. Like, it was like it was genuinely like it gave me chills. But in this game, it's kind of, I don't know, like, if I show you Hellblade 1 giant, I don't know where to spot the. Here we go. Look at this trailer, right? I'm gonna fast forward it to. Oh, guys, I can't seem to find the clip with the giant where you're fighting this big giant that's crawling towards you. Bro, it's so scary. Like, it creeps me the hell out. But yeah, here it is. It's actually right here. And I don't know, like, it seems a bit more human in the Hellblade 2, which is, I mean, I get it. It's hopefully it'll be a powerful, emotional story, like experience, like the first game. But yo, this game hasn't aged too well, has it? I'm looking at Hellblade 1, but I can't find it. But if you guys have played the first game, you'll know what I mean. Here's the face depicted here. You can see it on this before it replays. You can see the face of the giant with the big black eyes and half a face missing, and it's pretty terrifying. And especially when you see it in the distance, and then suddenly it starts crawling towards you really fast. It's like, but in Hellblade 2, you kind of like this slow ass run across what seems like you're running on ice, trying to get away, but from something that, in my opinion, personally didn't. Maybe it's because I'm not playing it. I don't know, but it just didn't have the same.
I just found that scene. To be really funny, actually, because it looks like he just got done doing something, and all he wanted to do was rest, and then here comes people just throwing fire at him, like, and then he's like, "Oh, not again."
I agree. It was pretty mean. I felt like Shadow of the Colossus all over again. You know.
Oh, Shadow of the Colossus, a masterpiece. There's a difference.
Masterpiece. But I feel so cool. I can't play it anymore.
This is the thing. You know, I am not. You know, I'm officially saying it here because you will not see me on Twitter doing it. I am not joining this stupid bullshit about Horizon versus Hellblade. I'm not doing it. All right, I am just not. I'm just
Well, I
not
think the
doing
point
it.
is why I mentioned it this whole time is people were saying that the in-engine visuals of Hellblade 2 revealed like 3 years ago were going to be the in-game graphics and are in-game graphics, and that's straight up cap, that's straight up lies, right? And all it was is, you know, at best this game holds up against the character models of, say, Horizon Forbidden West, which is definitely a compliment. But here's a cross-gen game, and look at the detail on Aloy's face. You've got literally, you can see the, I mean, I'll get it up in a bit, but you can literally see like the pores of a skin and the different materials used for her lips and the skin, and compared it to Senua's skin in Hellblade 2. Senua's skin looks pretty waxy by comparison and not very realistic. Now, people might argue art direction. Use that excuse all you want, but the point is, it is a far cry from the pre-rendered footage, the in-engine footage shown 3 years ago. Whatever way you want to put it, right? It is what it is, and the point is just to, you know, don't set yourself up for disappointment. And I'm not disappointed with Hellblade 2. I think it looks phenomenal. Because all this time I never for one moment ever thought that the in-game graphics were going to look anything close to that pre-rendered in-engine trailer. But, you know, it's one of them. You just got to lower your expectations sometimes and keep yourself, you know, keep yourself on level ground.
Be realistic.
Yeah, just be realistic. I mean, arguably, the visuals on Aloy's character model are more impressive than the character model in Hellblade 2. Yet this is a cross-gen title. And yet this is a cross-gen title. And
look
Hellblade
at that,
2...
though. Just look at it.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy, but at the end of the day, you're dealing with AAA production values and a proprietary engine, whereas Hellblade 2 is on Unreal Engine 5. Now, I don't care how impressive that engine is, you're not going to be able to curate an experience as easily using a third-party source than an engine built specifically for the purpose of which you want the game to be built around the game, right? And that's just the facts. So I'm not gonna hear people cap and say, you know, Hellblade 2 is the best looking game ever made. Well, actually, it's one of them. It's one of them, absolutely. But there are clear disadvantages to using that third party.
I mean, it's clearly a step up. Do you know what I mean? It clearly is. It's gorgeous to look at. But it isn't what that original trailer. Yeah, but it isn't what it was made out to be last year with that teaser trailer or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm. Remember,
it isn't there.
Remember, I had said some weeks back that Unreal Engine 5 is heavy. And I am shocked.
I remember
that we managed to get what they've done with the Unreal, with the MATRIX demo, because that level of optimization was further than I thought they would be able to achieve by this point. But the thing is, if you look at that MATRIX demo, one thing you will see if you are very attentive to the visuals, I still think it's one of the most impressive visuals I've ever seen. In fact, the problem with that demo is it'll not be deleted. I need to show it to every person, every visitor that comes to my house. In fact, today I had some visitors. I had to show them that MATRIX demo just so they understand video games is going to challenge films. But the thing is, if I look at the image quality, what these guys have done is they've ramped up everything. They put every effect on the book in a very sophisticated manner, which is very nice to see. But the penalties are image quality. Like if you zoom around the character
models aren't that impressive, honestly.
Exactly.
They're not. The environment
and
is.
Also, yes, the environment is. But if you and what makes the environment very good is the global illumination and the shadows. But if you zoom around the character, this pixelation that goes around the character, just keep the character still and keep going round, and you see that pixelation. It's because the base resolution is very low. And I'm not criticizing, I'm saying these are the things we expect because they've gone all out with every effect. So some of these custom engines will have advantages. We have not yet seen Naughty Dog's version of a next-gen game. We've not yet seen Santa Monica's version of an only PS5 game. We've not seen Decima's version of an only next-gen game. So right now we are seeing Unreal take that step and say, we'll show you first. And it has pleased me so much because I'm thinking, let's forget the custom engines, which are only limited to a few studios. But the fact that indies are going to have this engine is just a blessing. You're going to find guys like DZ. Their next game can look insanely realistic with a minimum budget just because they're using this. So for me, this demo was very pleasing, especially for indies.
You've also got the fact that you've got with Sony, they share assets, right? They share the studio's experience with each other. They work together. And Naughty Dog have some of the best eye rendering technology going. Their eye rendering technology is through the roof. So will Guerrilla have probably received a bit of observed and got tips from Naughty Dog on how to do realistic eyes? Yep. No doubt, because compare the eyes between Aloy and Senua in Hellblade 2. I mean, I call them Toy Story eyes, right? They kind of got that kind of a lack of lighting, and I don't know what it is, but the shading of eyes is very difficult to get right, and
it is
very difficult.
So maybe. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go on, Nabriko.
Sorry.
Okay. I was the only thing I was gonna say. Hold on. I'm sorry. One second. Sorry about that. I just had a lot of I have family over. So the one thing I want to see if you guys get your input on this. The discussion is back up again about $70 games. So after seeing something about the Unreal Engine 5, people are starting to see the graphical intensity that we're going to be able to go to here soon. And $70 is almost justifiable at this point because of that reason. Now, $70 obviously for a great AAA title game. Would you guys agree with the statement that maybe that narrative is finally going to die off as soon as the Unreal Engine 5 is given to everybody, to the public, as free use, and we start seeing those games come out? Because we know that it's going to cost more. What do you guys think about that? I actually wanted to get some input on that.
It's a great point. Personally, I've always thought it's not too much asking. For me, obviously, there are some games that I think are worth my money, and some games that I think are not. Some games I think are worth less of my money, depending on what I see and how interested I am in getting them. But a game that I'm really interested in, or a game that I think really is warranting a day one purchase because I love it and I love what I'm seeing, paying full price has never been an issue for me. It's never been a question for me. It's never been a debate for me because in my opinion, value is only value to me. I only consider value actual value when it's beneficial on both sides, when it's mutually beneficial both for the business and for me as the consumer and the customer. If it's not beneficial for me as the customer or consumer, then there's no value in it. But if it's in turn, if it's not beneficial for the business, then long term, what's the point? If the higher ups are making it almost impossible for there to be any kind of value placed on a product, then again the product isn't that valuable. So I've never had an issue with spending my money on a hobby that I enjoy and that I love. And I do believe genuinely that devs deserve to be paid and devs deserve their due. Now, so the problem with a lot of the Xbox community, and I don't want this to boil down into a whole Game Pass discussion because I know DZ is allergic to Game Pass discussions, so I want to respect that and want to keep GP as kind of as niche and low key on this podcast as possible, right? But But what I will say is, what was I going to say? Oh, flipping heck, guys! I've just had a brain fart. It was a really important point. Oh yeah, Xbox tend to run with the narrative. They conflate first party with third party. So they say the devs are getting paid from Microsoft. Well, what about third party devs? I mean, they get haggled with, bartered with, but you're a fool if you don't think they're not strong-armed in many cases because their game isn't well known. They're worried and concerned about sales, what dev isn't, and they give them, listen, we're going to give you, and they're going to barter with them. How low can we go to get this game on our service? And you accept. And so they're not going to accept they're not going to offer a money that covers the cost of development. Very rarely will they ever, unless it's an extremely low budget game. But take Recompile, for example. Recompile devs didn't turn a profit. The game's beyond hope, in their words. Their game was day one on Game Pass. Why? Because they didn't make enough sales. Now, yeah, that's a huge shame, and that whether it landed on Game Pass or not, it wouldn't have sold enough, and that's true. But this notion that Game Pass is profiting devs, it just isn't the case. It doesn't make any sense. How can £1? I've spent £4 in the last 8 months on Game Pass. How can that £4 have sustained game development?
Right.
It makes no sense. So somebody is forking.
Game Pass isn't even making money either.
Exactly. So there's a lot of fake ass narratives out there shitting on those who choose to use their money on this hobby, not trying to bottom feed off this hobby. And I'm not calling all Game Pass subs bottom feeders. If you by any means, if you Game Pass is a great value, but there are people abusing it. Just spending. I spent £180 on Game Pass for 2 years, and I barely used it. I spent 20 hours on it max in 2 years. It was a waste of money for me. Nevertheless, I support developers far more by buying games than I ever would by subscribing to a third-party subscription service. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say about it. I think the more that games become more and more next gen, the less and less likely they would ever accept a deal to go Game Pass day one. If they do, it's timed exclusive for a very short period of time. Look at Stalker 2. We'll give you 3 months on Game Pass, but then we're selling. You know, I just think developers are not signing up to it, and I don't think they should. I think they're absolutely right not to sign up to it. So good luck to the first party.
Agree.
Let third party sign up to timed exclusivity on Game Pass or a timed window on Game Pass. You know, day one, absolutely fair enough. If that's a risk you're willing to take, a decent little portion of your development costs covered for 3 months on Game Pass, go for it. But the more and more next gen these games are going to become, the less and less devs I imagine would ever be favorable towards the Game Pass. Unless there's an overhaul in the pricing of Game Pass and they somehow reach a whole new set of numbers. I don't see it. I just don't see it. So, and I think, you know, the fact that Crossfire X isn't on Game Pass day one, it's £30, says everything. Why? They want the sales, yeah? Why isn't Crossfire X on Game Pass day one? What's the reason?
I strongly believe that two things, actually. So, number one, I strongly believe when Phil Spencer finally retires or steps away from Xbox, or whatever he does for that case, I strongly believe the next one coming in might not fully change it up, but kind of focus more on games instead of focusing on such a service. I won't fully hold to that statement, but I think that could end up being the case. But the second thing that I wanted to say, you said something about manipulating the system. Somebody that I was playing, what was I playing? I was playing Halo Infinite. I met somebody on there, and I was talking to them about Game Pass. I'm about to cancel it. the guy tells me, "Oh, I have Game Pass all the way until 2024." I'm like, Jesus, like how? He was like, I manipulated the system. What he said he does, he cancels Game Pass when it officially ends on that day and it's gone. He will go and buy. He'll go like on a third party site. He'll go and buy like 3 or 4 years worth of Xbox Live, and then he'll just convert it all to Game Pass. And Xbox allows you to continue to do that over and over and over. So, what value are you actually getting, or what pressure are you actually putting on Microsoft and giving them money for? I mean, it's really nothing. You're just putting a number in the service to say that, hey, you play here. It's a manipulation system to get players there. So I totally agree with what you were saying. I just wanted to input that.
100%. I agree. Man, I needed some chocolate after that rant. Seriously.
I have a chocolate cake I just baked in there, so you're more than welcome to have some.
I know everybody. Social Destruct's high as a kite. He's been enjoying a bit of the ganj. So's OT. Social Destruct wants me to mention a game, and it is an awesome looking game. Actually, I'm gonna see if I can get it up. That's what she said. It's towards the end, I think.
While you're looking for that, wasn't there a developer or a team that said Game Pass is only good for games that's been out for like a year or two? I can't quite remember who said that, but they were like, Game Pass is a good service for games to come to after a year or two, after they've done selling what they needed to sell within that first year or first 2 years.
Was it maybe the Ori devs?
I'm not too sure. I need to actually go find that. But do you recall what I'm talking about, Gamer?
Yeah,
I remember seeing that somewhere.
Yeah.
Well,
and I agree with that statement.
If you look at Jim and Sean, both of them have said it's not sustainable. If you look at the trajectory of how much Sony want to invest in their first-party studios for the big budget games, they want to get to 300 million. You're not going to put 300 million on a game and then give it in a subscription service you can get for $1 if you're a newcomer.
Exactly. Look how these games have been made
so far. He
repeated himself
recently.
Look at Forza Horizon 5. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
Sorry. What I mean is, if you look at the microtransactions that's being operating around Xbox games, the Microsoft Flight Sim, you buy graphically upgraded airports. When you look at Halo, people are complaining about buying colors. So they need to make their money somehow. Tom Warren said Game Pass is not yet profitable. So I think, and I'm not criticizing Game Pass, I think there's a place for it, but I think the problem is whatever happened in the last generation of Xbox, sales went so low they had no choice. And right now, the issue they are having is, how do you maintain a healthy version of Game Pass, at the same time encourage people to buy games, which doesn't seem to be working. And it makes me fear that we're going to get situations where Sony will monopolize and just say, hey, since you only sold 200,000 copies on Xbox, I'm willing to pay you 300,000 copies worth and keep it exclusive. How do you think Final Fantasy stays exclusive for so long?
So
Xbox
true.
must be trying.
I have no doubt avowed it will be the same for Forspoken. Perhaps. At the end of the day, guys, without, again, it just being one big, long Game Pass rant, but it's got to be addressed. This is a big deal. It's a big issue in the gaming industry that there are so many people kind of now questioning what value is and wanting the cake and eat it. But the problem is Microsoft is so inconsistent with what they put on Game Pass day one or not at all. And they're in this limbo stage right now where they've not yet got the infrastructure needed to rely solely on first party content, because they've not got the games for that. They've not got the money to sustainably kind of buy the exclusivity of big games for Game Pass to attract more subs. It's all these smaller titles that they buy a window of exclusivity for, So it's kind of like a bit of an identity crisis, in my opinion. It's like, at least PS Now knows what it wants to be. At least PS Now is a backwards compatible service which is going to be attached to PS Plus. This whole narrative that PlayStation are creating their own version of Game Pass is stupid. It's false. It's just not true. There is nothing Game Pass-esque about PlayStation Plus and PS Now being consolidated into one subscription service. All it does is it gains more exposure for PS Now, arguably the underdog, the least selling and the least interesting service to the majority of consumers. So because of that, this subscription service, by consolidating it with PS Plus, naturally it could boost PS Plus numbers. PS Now numbers, with it kind of adding to the value of PS Plus, and PS Plus giving the value of PS Now more exposure, if that makes sense. And so at least there's a methodology to that. But with Game Pass, I just feel like, Crossfire X isn't on Game Pass day one. There's a reason for that. It needs sales, and if Microsoft really wanted to attract the entire industry and monopolize the entire industry into this subscription service, the best way you could do that is not just by cutting off a few fingers, but cutting off your entire arm and your left leg. They would need to buy the exclusivity of big games day one on Game Pass, but they're not doing that because it costs too much. So it's kind of this whole, well, are you day one on Game Pass or are you not? What games are coming to Game Pass, what are not? I don't know.
I think PlayStation has the better the better system when it comes to like PS Now or Game Pass, because like even though PS Now may not be in the spotlight as big, what I do like about PS Now is they're like, hey, here's some games being added, but they don't make it the forefront of PlayStation. What they do instead, and they say, hey, here's our AAA title games, here are our great story driven games. Oh, sorry about that loud background noise. Here's what we have to offer. Here's another piece that you have the opportunity to dive into, but we're not making that priority. We're making this priority. Like when they recently just said that PlayStation Plus, they're selling it for like half off. I mean, that's really big, and that seems to be their focus. But I like that type of business structure more than saying, hey, you have to dive into Game Pass. If you don't, then what the fuck are you doing? Like, I hate that mentality.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. They've not got the subscriber count right now to fund, to kind of fund a self-sustainable service. It's not self-sustainable right now. When they quote Phil Spencer saying Game Pass is sustainable, he was referring to the model. On theory, the model, the paper model is sustainable. The theory is sustainable, but that doesn't mean that it's right now profitable, that it's not right now costing them, that they're at a loss, and that they're not right now also gambling on Game Pass. It's a gamble. They need the subs. They need the subs not at $1, but at $8.99 to $10.99 a month, regularly, consistently, year round, in order for this model to last and to be sustainable. So to argue that, to take Phil's words as literal in that one isolated context that you've created is very disingenuous, and it's very naive as well, and gullible. How many times has Phil Spencer PR talked his way into promising the world but not delivering even a fraction of what he's promised? So many times. So because this is PR talk. So unfortunately, in the little self-contained world of Twitter, there's a lot of people who kind of are taking that one phrase that he used during an interview that as fact. But yeah, I think it's pretty naive to do that. Anyway, back to the Game Awards. What would be your overall summary, guys, of the Game Awards and the score that you would maybe give it? Is there any disappointments about the Game Awards that you have? Was there anything that
Yeah,
you?
I was disappointed. For
Before I
me
go,
anyway.
before you go, DZ, one thing, Social Destruct, I forgot to mention. I've got a game here paused to show you guys. I'm gonna play the audio as well because it's a pretty genius idea, and I just wanna in honor of my friend Social, because he's a huge metalhead fan. Share this footage and see what you guys think. I think it's genius. Unfortunately, I've got no sound. I'm sorry. But
is this Metal Hellsinger? What is
Metal Hellsinger. Basically, the only way I can describe it is Doom, except
Serious Sam.
The gun. The Doom and Serious Sam, but when you shoot your guns or when you hit your blades is rated in score by the timing that you've done it in. So if it's in sync with the beat of the music and you get into this rhythm and you get into this flow, your shots award you a lot more points, your hits award you a lot more points. And so it's I guess it's like Guitar Hero meets Doom. Like, you gotta hit the buttons to the beat, and I would love for them to implement DualSense to this. Like, if they implement the music, vibrations of the music in the haptics of the DualSense, it would just be nuts. I would lap this game up so bad. It looks amazing. I'm all for it. I saw this game advertised about a year ago on Steam Early Access, and it's come a long way. And now it's releasing on console too. That's huge. But just imagine that, guys. It's pretty innovative, don't you think? So
absolutely.
Yeah, Social's dropped the link to it, but it's pretty awesome.
Hey guys, sorry, I've got to go.
Hey,
baby
OT,
duties.
stay awesome, my bro. No worries.
Yeah. Thanks so much for the podcast. I'll be back next week. The only thing I wanted to say is, guys, Battlefield is the most underrated game of the year. Please, guys, if there's a way you can play it or try it, please try. I've enjoyed
my brother.
that
I'm waiting for a sale. I just can't because I don't want to spend a lot of money right now during the holidays. But if there's a sale jumping up, I really do want to grab it. Yeah.
Well, even if just play it. Social bought it for me. I didn't know the game was that good because I listened to all the negativity. But once I played it, I was in shock because that is the most next-gen first-person shooter ever made. Please try it, guys. At least criticize it after you've tried it, or at least go to a friend's place, play it, and then try it. It's amazing. I am having the time. I actually had to force my brother to go and buy that game. In fact, he took the company money. Me and my brother are partners in the company, and I told him this is an executive decision. You're gonna fucking buy that Battlefield. So we took company money to buy that. That's what we did. But it's that good. So I just beg, guys, please try it at least. It is a fantastic game. Yeah. Take care, guys.
I'm gonna be playing that with you, bro. Take care.
Take care.
All the best.
Carry on,
DZ.
Take care, guys.
What was your point, my guy, DZ?
I was gonna say that I'd rate this year. I'd give this year an A for Jeff's show. It really was fantastic. There wasn't much about it that I didn't enjoy besides Deathloop winning stuff. And I honestly, I think going into this year, I was like, okay, yeah, Deathloop is gonna be sick. And then having played it and tried it and seeing how things go and just kind of how the industry kind of wanted to shove that down your throat, kind of like Game Pass. It just kind of felt like it was oversaturating me with a whole lot of things. So like, I didn't like Deathloop being all into the mix. But yeah, this show was a good show. I'd give it an A. definitely hands down the best it's been in a long time. Um, Disappointments, there wasn't enough Microsoft games shown, there wasn't enough Sony games shown, and Nintendo kind of doesn't really show up to these things that often. So, you know, I wanted more first party offerings, and I didn't really get that many first party offerings. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm 100% with you. I'm 100% with you on that. Everything that you said, I agree with. I'd give it objectively an A plus or an A star, as we say in the UK, because of its. I don't think there is anything they could have done to improve on the show. I think they absolutely, in every single way, nailed how to deliver a 10 out of 10 Game Awards experience. However, I would personally score it an A minus because there was a huge lack of Sony content there, which is disappointing for me because personally I would have loved to see them. So objectively speaking, it was flawless. Purely subjectively speaking, I was a little bit disappointed by the lack of everything Sony. I would have loved a Fire Sprite announcement. Loved things like that, or a Haven announcement, like a tease of what Haven are doing, or even I keep forgetting the name and it's annoying me. Not Devolver.
Deviation.
Yeah.
You guys should look. You should. So those games especially. So a lot of those games. So the Deviation game and the Deviation game is coming, and the Firewalk game is coming. Those are going to be two titles that you're going to see next year for sure at some either an E3 showcase or something, because those games are very, very, very much farther along than the Haven one is. The Firewalk game especially has been in development for about at this point almost 3 years. When they announced the Firewalk and Deviation game, that was like
it's been in post pre-production for 3 years, or
no, they're in full development now, closer to 3 years, at this point. So like,
but what I mean by that, DZ, is were they in pre-production before that 3 years? So is it like 5 years altogether?
Yeah. And so the Deviation. So Deviation, that Deviation game that they're working on, that's playable right now. There are people at Sony and their company playing that, and that's far enough along. The Firewalk.
Hey, DZ, I'm so sorry for cutting you off. I really don't mean to do that. Wooly, I'm now dealing with some family issues. It's kind of an emergency, so I got to get running. Once they're handled, if you're still here, I'll jump back in. But
absolutely,
but if
bro.
not, I appreciate you.
We won't be on much longer anyway. But feel free to come back if you get it sorted. You're more than welcome. But shout out to you, Nabrico. Thank you so much for being here, dude. And I've popped your handle down below in the description, and it's been really great having you on. You've been awesome, really awesome. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been lovely. I appreciate it, Willie.
We'll have you on again, 100%.
Sounds great, man. I appreciate you again. Y'all have a great night.
Take care.
Y'all take care.
Bye, Nabrico. Follow Nabrico, guys. Awesome guy. Definitely. Carry on, DZ.
Yeah. No problem. So Firewalk, the game from Firewalk is the one that's farthest into development. And so like those two games, I think you guys should look to see them next year, at some sort of showcase. The Haven game, the Haven game, if you guys remember, she left from Stadia, in December last year, and then it wasn't until maybe June that she announced then she announced Haven, and then she announced the studio. So like the work on that game is a little bit farther, is you know, they've got time. So that's like a 2022, no, it's a 2023, 2024 game. 2023 game at earliest, I'd say 2024. So like, you can expect those kind of things to kind of coalesce, because like I said, Sony's making these deals and forming these partnerships and stuff like that, and a lot of these games have been greenlit and put into production, and whatnot.
You
but
know
like,
what I love, DZ and gang on the panel, Akira and Family Man Gamer. You know what I absolutely love? The Game Awards basically assured me that 2022 is literally going to be packed, and I mean packed. I mean, look at February. You've got Sifu and Horizon Forbidden West and Elder Ring. You've got then March, you've got Gran Turismo, and you've got shitloads of third party titles, and then you've got Forspoken coming out just 2 months after it. With all these third party titles as well, like Warhammer in January coming out, like my dudes, I can't get my head around it.
It's stacked. We're in for a good time.
Yeah. It's blowing my mind. DZ, bro, I'm so excited. I can't tell you. It feels
yeah. 2022 is going to be crazy.
I feel like
year.
2022, even though it's cross-gen still, I think it's the start of next-gen. I think 2022 feels like next-gen's...
It's the warm-up in 23.
Next-gen's beginning, you know?
Aye.
Go on.
Yeah.
Is that you, Family Man?
I was just saying, yeah, it feels like the warm-up. You know what I mean? This cross-gen stuff, as good as it is, we know it can be better. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, and the cross-gen is bloody good, better than I ever anticipated. I mean, the cross-gen titles we've seen are kind of holding up. I mean, Horizon Forbidden West easily holds up against Forspoken, for example. You know, and that's a next-gen exclusive. So, I mean, go figure. 2023 is definitely going to be the start of next-gen, as DZ has hinted at multiple times. But I feel like 2022 is getting our feet wet and getting us excited for when the true next-gen goodness arrives. Speaking of next-gen, last but not least, we'll briefly touch on this, because there's not really that much to cover regarding this, but the MATRIX Awakens. What are your thoughts about it? DZ, I want to hear from you as a game developer. What do you
I have not played it. I have not even had a chance. I have not had a chance. Trust me when I say it. I have not had a chance. I was watching the show, and then when the show finished, I was already dead to rights, tired, so I went to sleep. And then I had plenty of stuff going. So I've downloaded it, but I have not played it yet. So I as a developer, I can't give any factual things on it. I haven't even.
Have you seen footage?
I haven't even. So I've been on Twitter, and I've seen a little bit of people sharing stuff and whatnot, but like, I have not gone in and fully experienced it, so like I really can't give my thoughts or my views. As someone who's excited for what they're doing with the Unreal Engine, and to see how they've made it easier for developers to extract some really, really pristine things, I can just say that it's fantastic, and this engine is definitely going to move the industry forward in some remarkable ways. But in terms of this Matrix thing, I haven't played it yet, but I will.
Yeah. What about you?
I think it's very impressive. Very impressive, I think. For what it shows. What I'd really be interested in knowing, right, is if the city is procedurally generated or not, because I had a quick play around with it earlier today, and I noticed there's a building that kind of clips into another building. Do you know, like it's kind of just been placed there, and then it's not being finished off properly.
That's different.
If you know what I mean.
Well, I know
so
that.
I'm wondering if it's procedural.
I think what they described is they've given the toolkit out to everyone. It's open source, and you can basically really quickly create a city with all the infrastructure but in there, like the traffic, the way traffic operates, to automatically learn the roads and navigate. So there is an algorithm there, but I don't think it's procedural in the sense that it renews each time and it's just at random. And also on different platforms, the same cars are in the same locations. So there is hard code there, but at the same time, I think there must be a level of kind of this is a tech demo at its bare minimum in terms of preparation. They spent most of their time on the cinematic kind of first 10-15 minutes where you're shooting from your vehicle, but the rest, this whole open world, it's kind of like we've just plonked a player in it, give them a few tools to play around them, leave them to it, and it's unoptimized because it's not built for a specific platform. They haven't spent a lot of time on optimizing it. It's more of a tech demo. At least this is what Digital Foundry have said.
It's impressive. It's very. Don't impressive. Get me wrong. It's really impressive. And are they using ray tracing?
Well, that's Nanite. It's ray trace global illumination. Yeah, using Lumen technology. It's as good as ray tracing in most cases.
I was going to say, because the reflections and stuff in the window fronts and that are really well done in it.
Yeah, I think it's just more CPU heavy than GPU heavy, which is the difference between Lumen and ray tracing from what I understand, from what I've read. But the thing is that I've noticed with this is that character models and kind of animated things aren't quite as polished, and I think that's largely because Nanite is very geometry based, and they're trying to develop Nanite further so that it kind of like these vehicles are generated through Nanite technology, and I don't know how, but they've Digital Foundry break it down. I've not watched the video yet, but apparently they break it down. But these vehicles, the destruction isn't Nanite based. They kind of use a few little tricks and tricks up their sleeve to make these Nanite based vehicles to have accurate destruction physics and stuff like that. So there is a level of rigidity, if that's a word, rigidness to Unreal Engine 5 right now, where loopholes are having to be made to do things that are unconventional, or specifically when it comes to animated non-static objects like humans and moving cars and destructible vehicles and stuff like that. But that's only going to improve. I think Unreal Engine 5 is still very much in its baby stages, and I think as time goes on it's going to get more and more impressive. But what is so impressive for me, having played this demo, I didn't record any, but I have played it, and I'm just streaming somebody else's demo right now. His name is Boss Fighter. I've just subscribed, give him a follow, subscribe to him. Just using his footage right now of it. Is that when I posted it on Twitter, I was flying above the city and there was no popping whatsoever. You could see vehicles as far as the eye can see because they're part of Nanite. Their rendering is part of Nanite, and so it gives you this really solidified kind of grounded feel in the world that's not like anything else yet. The world feels truly real in a way that's not yet ever been done before, and you can have far more vehicles on screen than ever before because they're rendered via Nanite and not via actual GPU hard kind of rendering, more and more assets and taking up memory and stuff like that. It's all Nanite based, so it's very, very clever stuff.
Definitely got me excited for the future. Like, I mean,
imagine Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
But obviously I don't think Spider-Man would ever use Unreal Engine, but Insomniac are implementing aspects of Unreal Engine 5 in their tech, like triangle-based ray tracing. You know, instead
their engine
triangle-based rendering instead of using polygons. They're using triangles for their ray tracing and objects and stuff instead of polygons. So you can see almost infinite detail. You know.
Go on, mate. I still get my shout for the best engine this gen so far.
Yeah,
that ray trace performance mode is.
How Insomniac have done, how they managed to render New York City in that way, to that level of fidelity in Miles Morales is, whilst traversing at that speed, takes a level of optimization few can touch. It's crazy, in my opinion.
They're a special team, them devs.
But yeah, definitely give that game a try, DZ. You'll be blown away. I'm not blown away as much by the open worlds in the sense that you're very limited in what you can do. Driving is sluggish. It's not very stable. Its FPS drops to low 20s because it's unoptimized, but it's still very impressive, purely from a face value perspective. But this is giving us all a glimpse in next gen.
Night mode's good.
I didn't choose the night mode. I didn't actually select the night mode, but I definitely want to go back and try it. I know that Lumen will help because games have always struggled with nighttime rendering in cities, haven't they? I mean, even Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man struggles with that because there's a lot of baked lighting that's used, and unless you use ray traced lighting, it's gonna look quite flat at night. So I don't know if Lumen fixes that. Are you guys there?
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
Sweet. I don't know what's going on with this video. It's just been an error has occurred. All right, now we're back. But yeah, that would be worth a look. What about you, Akira? Have you tried it?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I definitely tried it, and it's a glimpse of the future. That's how I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a glimpse of the future.
Anything else you guys want to add to this before we close the show?
Nah, I'm good.
Oh, we pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a perfect time to end it, if I'm honest. I think we're all beat. And, yeah, no, I agree. Everyone in the chat, you've been awesome tonight. Thank you for watching. We got to a peak of 38 viewers at one given time, which I think is one of the highest yet. We're normally around the 32 mark, high 20s, low 30s. So that's progress. And 35 likes, absolute buzzing, Brooke, guys. That's amazing. Thank you so much for all your support. It's been one of the best shows yet. I keep saying that every week, but they just seem to get better and better. We're on a roll recently. Thank you to every one of you in the chat for coming. Sergeant, Social Destruct, DE, HD Gamer, you're all, Buck Roger, every one of you. You've all been awesome. Shaky Shako, Scott Raynor, Jonathan Martinez. I wish I could shout all of you out. Forgetful Gamer, but there's just so many of you. I don't have the time. But thank you. You're all awesome. We love you. DZ, where can we find you, my guy?
You guys can find me at EXP Sev Davis on Twitter. I'm in the discourse. As a matter of fact, right now I'm arguing with a bunch of idiots over Uncharted's $10 upgrade, which they think should be free, and I'm just like, we're defending. Anyways, let me not get into this diatribe. You can find me on Twitter. I'm in the discourse. I try to keep it non-fanboy-ish, as even though I people would consider me a pony. I do tend to stay away from the console war slander these days, especially because I'm trying to land a job in this industry with a Sony studio, particular Sony studio, and I have to be seen more. What's the word? Non-biased, and that's kind of the play right now. So I got to be more objective. That's the play right now. So yeah, you guys could keep a lookout for me there.
What I will say, DZ, is if I'm also trying to keep this to the best of my ability as objective as possible. This podcast, but if ever it leans too fanboyish to the point where you feel uncomfortable or compromised being on, please do not hesitate to let me know, because that's the last thing I want. The goal of this podcast has always been to be objective and to kind of be a shining light of reason in a world of fanboyism, you know.
And I mean, we all have our biases and whatnot. We all have our preferred ecosystems and everything, and that's human nature. It's you'll find that's just me. You'll find me there interacting with all these lovely people that I get to share, that I'm privileged to share this the panel with. So yeah,
keep it breezy, keep it deezy.
We're still working on that one.
Acting so sleazy. I get a call like, "Where are you, Deezy?" Kanye West. Kanye West.
Kanye West. Yeah.
Tune. I love that tune. But yeah, no, it's been
Mate, it's December 12th. I have not received the invitation to your wedding yet, so I'm starting to get nervous, mate.
We sent it. We posted it.
It has not.
Ah, shit.
It has not. It has not shown.
DZ, we posted.
It has not shown up.
We've been waiting for the RSVP. I'm gutted. It's not arrived. Put it this
has
way,
not, mate.
You are guaranteed 2 seats saved for you at the table for you and your partner. You are welcome. You are here. I'll send you all the details myself. Consider yourself on the list and RSVP'd. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you
worries.
so much. Oh, I'm so touched. Yeah. You're still wanting to come. I'm buzzing, bro. I'm buzzing.
Of course. Are you working this Tuesday, by the way?
I hope not. Maybe not. I may not be. How come?
I'll be in Manchester for I have an appointment in Manchester that I got to do something.
Oh shit.
So I'll be in Manchester for a few hours. So I will have some time.
What time?
I'll have some time to. I'll be in Manchester from about. Let me check my ticket. 11, 12, 1. So I'll be in Manchester from about 1:30. On Tuesday.
I will, if I am working. I imagine I'm working later than that, so I'm gonna check my times what I'm working, because I really don't know, and I'll get back to you. But I really hope we can meet up. That would be awesome. That would be so cool, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, definitely.
Excited as fuck. Right. Okay. Hey, my brother Akira, where can we find you, my guy?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Alright, so yeah, you guys can always find me on Twitter. It's basically it. You know.
Find him in Spaces.
On Twitter, post games.
Catch him in his Spaces where he.
Spaces sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm not playing games. I'm in Spaces. That's true.
Yeah, Akira is always dropping great games, like gems, just little bits of footage of games he's excited for that you probably haven't heard of or may not have heard of. So that's awesome. What's your Twitter handle? Akira09 or something?
Yeah, Akira092421.
Yeah, that's
Lost
it.
Judgments release date.
His name's in the Twitter handle. In the description below. With 4 subscribers off of 600, guys. Can you believe it? Oh my days. With 596 subscribers, that's nuts. Family Man Gamer.
That's what's up.
It's been epic, man. I've loved having you on. It's been awesome. What an awesome guest. Thank you.
I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Have you enjoyed it? Has it been?
I have. I really have. Like I say, this is one of my favorite podcasts with some of my favorites that I've met with my time on Twitter. So Like it's, I'm chuffed a bit, man.
Can I ask, bro? Just from a outsider's perspective, looking in, someone who hasn't been on the panel until now, who never anticipated being on the panel until now, what is it about the podcast that you appreciate? I just to help us kind of know that we're on the right track.
There's a mixture of things. First up, you always back up what you say. You always have a reason for saying what you say. You don't just say. Now we all make bait posts and have fun with it, yeah. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just genuinely when you're down talking about games, you're not making excuses for things. You're honest about what you see and how you feel about it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I've always enjoyed. So that's why I watch.
That means a lot, man. I'm gonna screen record that and post it. But man, that's awesome. No, honestly, that means a lot, and that must be good for all of us to hear as a panel, because that's what we try to do with this show. We try to keep it as objective and real as possible, where it's not just about the same old fanboy nonsense that you're used to hearing in spaces. Not speaking about Akira, he always has unique topics to discuss, but the general environment, but try to keep it real. So no, that's awesome, my dude. Thank you so much for joining us. Where can we find you, man? On Twitter?
Just on Twitter, XTSX Retro, or I think if you type in the Family Man Gamer, it'll come up as well.
Yeah, it will. I've added your handle down below in the description. Give him a follow, guys. He's awesome. He's a 10-year long friend of DZ's, so he must be good. I've been following him for a year and a half to 2 years now, probably, for quite a while.
Yeah, it's coming up on
but yeah, always got on with this guy, and he's a real one.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you to every one of you for being awesome. We love you. Stay awesome, and we'll catch you all next time.
you.